It's the Bennington Show on a Tuesday. I'm Ron Bennington. There's Gail Bennington.
Yo.
And I am Ron Bennington. Starting off with your favorite girl, Peaches.
Peaches featuring Iggy Pop.
My favorite guy. Your favorite girl, my favorite guy. That's how we, share. We share.
And that's how the generations come together.
Right. And then later for Chris, we're going to play Rush.
Please.
Today's top song, yeah. 27-minute drum solo, motherfuckers.
Keep going.
Bennington Show on a big Tuesday. Congratulations to the LA Rams. Way to bring football back to your hometown. That might have been the most turned off show in the history of televised sports. I don't even know if their quarterback threw for 100 yards. It was so dull.
It was so sad.
So dull.
It was just really sad.
Well, what are you going to do? They all can't be gems. And by all, I mean any. It's just all bad. Everyone. It looks like San Francisco will never be beat tonight. Chip, chip, hooray. They're on their way. They're going to have an undefeated season.
There was some bad feelings in my house.
Of course, there's always bad feelings in your house.
To see Chip start off with success.
Never hated ex-girlfriend.
When he ran that beautiful team into the ground.
Well, he did do that. But they never win anyway, so it's a fucking difference. Who cares if they never win or lose in the Super Bowl? It's the same feeling. Death. I'll tell you this. New England no longer needs Tom Brady. They're going to put him up on fucking waivers, and he'll end up playing in Jacksonville by the time he's done. But there is a thing on the high bang that I find worse than evil clowns. You know how there's evil clowns all around the world right now scaring people?
Yeah, they just keep popping up.
Yeah, they're evil. There is a guy with a fucking Tom Brady mask that just gives me chills. I want you to look at it, Gail. Okay. His name is Fake Brady. # Fake Brady. I don't know how he made that mask. Yes, Chris, fix the... Thank you. The hair grosses me out.
Oh, my God.
Look.
No.
What the fuck? That's a fucking Mission Impossible man.
Wait.
Ew.
Is that a mask or is that his face?
I can't.
That's his face, right?
I don't know what that is.
His mouth moved. It might be a face, but then his eyes are like
No,
pinholes.
why is his mouth clammed shut then? He hasn't moved his mouth
you're right.
once, so it's got to be like almost like a latex. It looks like that weird Drive mask.
Ew.
That is... and then that weird, like, plasticky hair.
Oh, this is fucking creepy.
It's lifeless, and but Brady has weird plasticky hair, and he's emotionless, too.
Yeah, he's a robot.
Maybe it is Brady. He's got nothing else to do. He just calls himself Fake Brady.
You know what's, like, it's the size of the head, too, compared to his body. It does that, whatever that weird, like, uncanny valley syndrome is, that's what it is.
Wait a minute, what's that mean? I don't even know what that means.
The uncanny valley is when people find, let's say, like, robots or humanoids or things like that disturbing because they almost look human.
Okay,
but
I have an uncanny valley.
Yeah, like if a robot, let's say, looks like the robot from the Jetsons, you're like, that's not scary, but it almost looks like a person.
Wait,
that's scary.
Can I bring this up? You just fucking name checked Rosie from the Jetsons as being a robot rather than a drawing.
There's nothing scary about Rosie, is what I'm saying.
She could dump trash in her stomach. It's kind of scary.
But you get the same from those bad CGI faces, too. Like, some people find those really disturbing because they kind of look like people, but they're not. It's the uncanny valley.
Ugh, I never heard that term before. I would just thought you were talking about Sun Valley. Fucking Vanguard pieces of shit that they are.
They are scary.
Guess who's going to lose? Yeah, really? When we whip their ass at Thanksgiving? That's not going to be scary. That's going to be a good turkey day. I'll just say this. I hate fake Tom Brady. I mean, I literally hate him and would hunt him down and kill him with a mob.
Easily.
I wouldn't do it on my own because no single person could kill.
Whether it's a mask or not, put this dude down.
Put him down. And anyone who's getting joy from him.
What if that's what the AI, like all the robots, will look like? They all have that weird plastic.
All look like fake Tom Brady?
Fake Tom Brady.
It's a clone army.
Horrifying. Anyway, it's up on the iBank today. What's the name of the article?
Fake Tom Brady's haunting.
That's a perfect goddamn title. Way to go. That title was fun. Because I'm haunted right now. Maybe, I heard that since this video went out, people were killing themselves all over the country.
Oh, Jesus.
They just see it, and they immediately, just take a knife. Gail does the funniest, shooting herself in the mouth, waving goodbye. And it's too joyful. You know what I mean? Just like, I don't know what it is, but that's the funniest. If you ever went back to social media, and I know you're too lazy to do it, Vito. Vito thinks this: social media, do it once a quarter.
I don't get it. Bilbo Backhands was a hit.
And you brought back scope days again.
That's right, yeah.
You're scoping 7 days a week.
I'm giving all the scopes out because I want people to fucking hit it on FanDuels. Look, I'm giving out good advice. I told everyone.
I understand, but nobody wants their product tied in with fucking. Just so you know.
I want everyone to have a great time. And I want to listen to my advice. I said take Derek Carr last week. Guess what? He lit it up.
I want everyone to have a great time.
I want everyone to do well. I want everyone to win their daily fantasy leagues.
That's what a person. You don't have the motivation that a person has.
Like you have fake Brady of emotions. Like on the inside, you're fake Brady.
That's what a sociopath does. He goes, "Hey, how would a human handle this?" And I'll act like I'm sad.
Everyone else is being sad, and then they're just trying to contort their face. Me too. I feel the same as you.
I feel bad about my victim. I mean, sister-in-law. Vito, why did you quit your social media? Why do you quit everything you start? Why do I feel like there's toys laying around in your fucking bedroom you haven't picked up in years?
Well, there are a lot of toys in my bedroom I haven't picked up, but I want to get back on Snapchat.
No, that's not what it is. You didn't do it. The thing is, someone brought it up to me, so now I'm going to do it. Is not doing it.
We've just been the office move took up a lot of time.
It's 10 seconds, and you know what could be a Snapchat? We're moving the office. That's a Snapchat,
bros.
I watched some of these fucking people on Snapchat. They're in the fucking shitter. They don't care.
Yeah, that's the point of Snapchat, I think.
Is what? It's nothing, right? It's just constant nothing.
It really is. It's 10 seconds at a time.
It's just like, well, dudes, it was a long day today. I'm going to miss everybody.
Exactly. I was watching the Kardashians. This is my old room. Hey, it's Kylie. Here's my old eyeliner.
Most of the time, yeah, they are just getting they're just getting makeup. That's it. It's just makeup. Putting the makeup on.
Just doing a little quick tutorial.
No. What's this other optical illusion thing you had? Because that annoys me.
All right, this is a new optical illusion where it's impossible to see every black dot on this page.
I see them all right now.
You see 12 black dots.
Yeah.
Impossible.
I just did it.
At one time. You see them all at once.
Yes.
You can see 12?
I can't. I can see maybe
1,
8.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. How do you not see that?
Okay, if your eyes move around, sure, you can pick up 12 different spots, but can you see them all at once?
I'm looking at 12 right now. You guys can't see 12 dots?
I can't see 12
I can
dots.
only see about 4 at a time.
Maybe 8, but no, 12.
I can't. At no point can I see 8 at a time. I can get 4 to 5.
That one dot has a white dot inside of it, though. I can see 12. Vito, how many dots you see?
I can only see one when I move my eyes.
One at a time?
I can only see one at a time, and then they pop up.
You're legally blind. I'm going to take away your non-existent driver's license.
It's very frustrating.
Just count them. 1, 2, 3, 4. And you see I'm not moving my head. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. How do you not see them?
I only get 5 at once. Wait, if I really try, I can maybe get 6.
Maybe I think you guys are moving your heads. Just try to keep your head still.
My head's completely still.
I can see 6. That's it. But now I can only see 5.
Are you doing
I'm not moving my head.
Are you doing like magic eye, like you're crossing your eyes or some kind of trick?
Looking, like I would at a television screen.
Is this even possible?
Is what even possible?
To see all 12 at once.
Yes.
Then you have sniper eyes.
Well, I wouldn't mind that as a nickname.
Oh, sniper eyes.
Sniper eyes gonna get you.
It's very frustrating.
Why do you say it's frustrating when all you got to do is do it?
But I can't. That's the problem.
Can you tell what this letter is right here?
R?
You see?
Okay, that's a different kind of problem.
Yeah.
Oh, it's making me nauseous because I know they're there, but I can't see them.
It's creepy. It's a creepy illusion.
I wish I could explain the sensation. It's like as soon as I try to focus on another, the other ones disappear.
Yeah, that same thing's happening to me, yeah.
I can't make them disappear. That's what's driving me nuts. I keep hearing you guys.
Why would you want to make them disappear?
It's frustrating. I want to see what the humans see, not what old Sniper Eyes sees. You see, Sniper Eyes spends many a lonely night being the only one who can see dots.
Sniper Eyes, you take the watch again tonight.
Sniper Eyes, tired of being the only person who could see dots, walked into the ocean, vowing never to walk out. Just do me a favor and on my tombstone, make it an optical illusion.
Too frustrating. I'll never visit.
I don't visit anyone's tombstone anyway. What am I going to do? Oh, yeah, there's a brick. There's a brick. I mean, if they had a fucking brick in their yard, I wouldn't come over and look at it. Why am I going to drive way out in the fucking country to see it? Not for Sniper Eyes. No fucking way. You know, worst thing about it, I can see a little chive on the back of Chris's tooth there.
It's a curse. It's a blessing and a curse.
Where is it?
Yeah. Where is it? Help me. Help me get that chive.
What was that? Chive cream cheese this morning?
A little bit, yeah.
That's not a bad idea.
Delicious. So have you seen this thing on the iBang right now? That there is a list of the 50, all 50 states, the weirdest town name from each state.
I'll say this, no one can beat mine.
From the state of Pennsylvania.
From the state of Pennsylvania, because there was also an avenue in Linwood. It was actually right on the border of Boothwood and Linwood, if I'm going to be totally honest here. And that line has been fought over many generations. But it's blue ball. It's blue ball. Now, the fucking weird thing is, people would take chicks sometimes because it was like a little fucking almost deserted road called Blue Ball Avenue. And then it became, good name. I ended up being Blue Ball Avenue. But then after that, if you went out on a first date and you didn't get laid, when people say, how'd it go? You just go, I went to Blue Ball Avenue. Let's put it that way. Okay? I'm going to be a gentleman here and let everybody know I spent last night at Blue Ball Avenue. But Blue Ball is a very, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
it's very specific.
People would giggle about it when I was younger. So I haven't seen this. See if Pennsylvania is Blue Ball, Pennsylvania.
It is Coupon, Pennsylvania.
How's Coupon dumber than Blue Ball?
Coupon is not worse. Now, I have some.
And by the way, I say coupon.
Some of these, I would agree, silly names. But I happen to know that I think the Florida one, not that funny.
Spuds?
Spuds, Florida. Not when there's Cheesy, Florida, which I always thought was silly.
That's funny.
There's Yeehaw Junction, Florida.
That seems just normal to me.
Yeehaw Junction. Christmas, Florida.
I like that, though.
Spuds is not that ridiculous.
It's basic.
What do you think is, do you have a weird town name in New York?
In Westchester, there's a town that the train stops at called Tuckahoe. I always got a kick out of that.
Like Tuckahoe under my balls.
Basically.
Tuckahoe for later.
All right, West Virginia's got a good one, Booger Hole.
That's disgusting. I don't like that one.
Look at Oklahoma's okay, Oklahoma.
It's just
Lazy.
okay. It's not so bad.
What is this?
It's perfect.
Is this New Mexico? I would go Pie Town.
That's Arizona is Catfish Paradise. No, I feel like I've been to a weirder one. Like, I think that there's like a Nowhere, Arizona or something like that.
I like that one a lot, man. I do like stupid names for towns. Out west, I think, like Texas, West Texas, and here out west, it's easier to have a nutty name because there isn't a lot of people choosing it.
Right.
So you're easy, you know what I mean?
That sounds fine.
Yeah. You're easy to come up with a name like Bob's Elbow and get away with it.
Didn't New Mexico have truth? Isn't there a Truth and Consequences?
Yes, there is. There is a town called Truth or Consequences.
That should be the weird town name.
I like that town name.
I don't even like it as a game show name.
What do they have as New Jersey?
They have Foul Rift.
Nope. It's a Ho-Hocus. Ho-Hocus. Foul Rift. What does that even mean?
I would just throw in Bayonne. That's dumb enough. Dude, look at Massachusetts, Satan's Kingdom.
What? That's fucking badass.
Yeah, I know.
I'm in Satan's Kingdom, baby. You don't fuck with us.
The Arizona town is... Okay, so they have a list that goes along with it, and Blue Ball made the list, didn't win. Nothing Arizona made the list.
Nothing Arizona.
Yeah. Ho-Hocus made the list.
What about any of my Florida picks?
Let's take a look at the Florida ones, Chris.
Briny Breeze. I don't think any of my picks are in there.
I like Briny Breeze, though. That's just...
Two-way.
Junction made it.
Yeah.
Plant City made it? I thought that was a normal name.
That seems fine.
Two Egg is a great fucking name.
So...
Yeah.
Oh, Sop Choppy.
Oh, I love Frost Proof Florida, too. That's a great one. Because every year they would put on TV when there was a frost at Frostproof. And I'm like, yeah, great fucking name. What about Kissimmee? Because people from out of the state always say Kissimmee.
Kissimmee. There was also, in Florida, there's, it's Punta Gorda. And I always thought it was Punta Gorda. I always thought the name of the town was Fat Whore.
Right.
But it's actually Fat Point. It's Punta, not Puta. But when I was like, whoa, that's intense. Fat Whore is the name of your town?
Why not just call it Fat Whore? That's perfect. There's a town in Florida called Couch. Why?
It's comfy there. Everyone sit up on the couch.
I also like Florida Town, Florida. That's the dumbest shit ever. Chris, what happened to the phones?
They crashed.
Ladies and gentlemen, we lost our phones for a second. They're back. Here's Dan in Florida. Dan, dumb town name.
Yeah, buddies. We used to cruise through this town going fishing all the time, like towards the East Coast, like south of Orlando, called Taintsville. And we used to always joke. We used to joke because we were like, well, we're not in Pussyville, we're not in Assholeville, we're in Taintsville.
There you go.
So we had a good time with that.
Unbelievably funny dudes.
We had a blast.
Oh, God, good times. All those guys are dead now. Glenn, Nova Scotia.
Hey, buddies. Up in Newfoundland, we got a town called Dildo, Newfoundland, and it's real.
Redundant.
It might be where the Watleys are from.
Yeah, that is the most redundant name for a Newfie ever. Randy, Oklahoma. Dumb name of your town.
Hey, Ron. Hey, I grew up in a town called Hooker, Oklahoma.
Hooker, Oklahoma.
Yeah. And right down the road from us was Beaver, Oklahoma.
And it's going to be so difficult on the girls to grow up there.
It's not easy.
I mean, I'm sure the guys are laughing their asses off, but the girls like, we have to move. I'm not living here anymore.
It must be just difficult to play other schools.
She's a hooker. I thought I was just doing well.
Welcome to Hooker High.
You fuckers. We're going to fuck you at Hooker High. 844-ROCK God, 844-ROCK God, looking for dumb town names. I don't know, what's the article name on this, Chris?
This is what is the weirdest... It's frozen.
Okay.
What's the weirdest town name in your home state?
Okay. You should have been able to figure that out once you get to what's the weirdest.
Wanted to be sure I was correct.
You're too correct, though. Down to a point. I always found it's weird that you can live in the city, state, and county of New York. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's New York City, New York County, New York State.
Who's got the coolest county name?
Westchester.
Westchester. But of the boroughs, like, what do you think is the best county name?
Well, I always like, oh, you're from Queens, one from Real Parents. Let's face it, you're stuck with Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Kings County.
Kings. That's the best one. Why didn't we just get to be Kings and Queens?
It would have been perfect. Then Jax, and then Staten Island could have been Deuce.
Deuce.
Here's Mike. Mike, you're on Bennington. What's happening?
Hey, how's it going? I got a stupid one in Florida.
What's that?
Waimama in south of Plain City.
Waimama is a great fucking name, right? Waimama.
I'm from Waimama.
Why, Mama? Why we gotta do that? Why we gotta clean our room? Why, Mama? Why? Dunedin got its name. Dunedin, Florida. I don't know. The Blue Jays do there. But you could go up to Tarpon Springs and everybody gets a gyro, and then you start to drive back down. And they say by the time you're Dunedin, that's where you are. That's where the name came from. Dunedin.
Oh, shit.
When you're Dunedin.
That's where you are. Corey in Ontario. Corey.
Yeah, just north of Calgary, there's a town called Balzac.
Yeah, that seems like
cruel.
Yeah, I hated their flag too. It's disgusting, and
it's definitely vulgar.
Definitely, yeah, not safe for work. Jason, what's up?
Hey, in Arkansas, we've got 3 towns all in the same region. It's Wiener, Goobertown, and Bald Knob.
What was the last one?
Bald knob.
Bald like a bald head, and then knob like doorknob.
Bald knob.
Bald knob.
Yeah. Well, you never grow hair on the knob. That's actually. But Arkansas seems like another place that's just fucking wide open for names. You know what I mean?
Just like 3 dudes decided it.
Yeah, and all of them were like, back when it happened, like in the 1800s. I mean, you're looking at fucking 3 guys with a 2nd grade education. We could call it burn asshole, because remember that time I had a burn asshole there. Hey, Keith, what's up, buddy?
Hey, Ronnie, there's a place in Alberta called Head Smashed in Buffalo Jump.
Well, Canada's really representing on this.
Yeah,
Canada comes in strong for nutty names. Here's Roger in Maryland. What's up, buddy?
Yeah, I'm right near Blue Ball working, but there's a place called Skaggsville. I think it's up near Frostburg, Maryland, or somewhere around there.
Don't go back to Skaggsville. Here's Barry. Barry, what's up? Or is it Benny? I'm not sure. I think we lost you. Craig, what's up, pal?
Hey, my favorite place is Craig Key in the Florida Keys.
Sure.
But there's one house on it. I can't afford it. But the old Intercourse, Pennsylvania.
Oh, yeah,
there's
an Intercourse, Pennsylvania.
But we have Ocum, Connecticut.
Oh, come, Connecticut. Terry, Georgia.
Hey, Ronnie, about 50 miles north of Atlanta, there's a town called Cumming.
That's nice. You're a baby.
Great.
You're a
baby. Cumming. It's fucking great.
You're a baby. Matt.
So many cum-related towns. Who knew?
Seriously, you're not going to be able to stay at this movie if you keep giggling. Matt, go ahead, buddy.
I'm a big fan of driving through Coxsackie, New York.
Coxsackie, New York. Yeah, that's got to make the kids laugh. Kevin in Illinois.
Big Bone Lick, Kentucky.
Big Bone Lick?
Why? What the fuck?
Well, lick means something because they have like French lick. Lick is like their kills.
Okay.
I don't know what it means, but lick gets used a lot there.
I thought maybe it was like they were starving and they lick a bone, so they call it Big Bone Lick.
Look, your theory is as good as anybody.
What does kills come from? Like, why?
It's a certain, like a Dutch term.
Yeah.
It means like river or hills or something. It means
river, because I'm in Dutch Kills.
You are?
Yeah, apparently I'm in Dutch stories in Dutch Kills.
Let's go over here to Chris. Chris, what's up?
Hey, Ronnie. Right next to Blue Ball, Pennsylvania, you've got Intercourse and Bird in Hand.
That's a strange one, right? Bird in hand?
Like Two in the Bush?
Oh, that's disgusting. I won't even watch those. Matt,
She's
Florida.
very talented.
I say those
Hey, how you
dudes are
doing?
gay.
I know right down the street from where I used to live in Virginia is a place called Dumas, Virginia. It's written dumbass, basically.
Yeah, people would say he's a dumbass from Dumas. And then everybody would be like, you say that again, I'm going to knock your goddamn teeth out.
I'm proud to be from Dumas.
You know people have gotten in fistfights over their stupid town name.
Oh, I'm sure.
Here's Steve. Steve in New Hampshire.
Hey, there's a town in Cape Cod called Hyannis. No. My dad always used to joke on the way there that's where all the giraffes live.
First of all, your dad's hysterical.
He's great.
Yeah. I mean, once. You can't do it every time you're there.
I mean, yeah, it's going to kill the first time. Oh, my God, is it going to kill?
All right. So you be the caller bringing up that, and I'll be Chris. I'll show you exactly what he did.
Okay. Yeah, there's a town we used to drive through called Hyannis.
No. You actually...
It can't exist, can it?
You actually just...
Of all these ridiculous things. Now...
Hyannis?
No. But just...
Jesus God, no. For all that's good and holy, no.
Not that.
Not Hyannis.
Yeah, it's the name of a town, Chris. An asteroid is crashing into the earth. No. These are up on the iBank today, along with a little, I'm not even going to say optical illusion, because it's not an illusion, it's just an illusion. If you see 12 of these dots at the same time, you're a normal person. Anything less than that, then you suffer with learning disabilities.
That was me.
Oh, I
got LDs.
Yeah. Vito sees one. I'm going to get back on. We've been moving a lot lately, so I couldn't get to the Twitter for 10 seconds.
I feel like I'm cursed with this optical illusion. I can't see them all.
Just look at all 12. That's what I do.
I can't.
It's giving me a headache even trying.
Can't see them at once.
Jen.
Hi, everyone. Love you all.
Thanks.
It's not exactly the city, but it might as well be because that's what people call it as the destination. Gobbler's Knob, Pennsylvania.
Yeah, that's pretty ridiculous.
Pennsylvania's nutty.
Why do they have so many weird ones? Like, come on, when you're talking about naming areas and someone says Gobbler's Knob.
I would just say this. We can do better. We can do better. I wonder why they would even say it.
What do they mean by that?
Jen, how do you live with yourself?
You know what? I don't live there. That's why.
Okay. Thanks, honey. Take care of yourself.
Have a great day.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Let's go to a person everyone likes to hear from. It's Dickie Jr.
What's up, Dad?
Hey, Dogsy.
Hey, I got a quick one for you while we're talking about Philly. I've been to this one area called King of Prussia.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anywhere else called the King of something, but it's fucking loco, Dogsy. All right, see ya.
The big deal used to be the King of Prussia Mall.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody wants to go to the
disgusting.
King of Prussia Mall. Well, you know what? Next Sunday, we're going to go to the King of Prussia Mall and we'll find it. They have everything at the King of Prussia Mall.
It's so nice there. So nice.
King of Prussia is a fucking great nickname for yourself, though.
Yeah. That one I think is a little bit more complimentary than some of these.
Oh, yeah.
Gobbler's Knob and Hooker types.
Sean in Michigan.
Hi, Bennington.
Hey, man.
Up here in Michigan, we got Hell, Michigan. And if life is rough for you in hell, you head on down to Paradise, Michigan. And we also have Colon, the home of magic in Michigan.
The home of what?
Magic.
It is considered the home of magic. It's like 300 people live there, but everything is magic. They got a magic shop and a bar and a post office.
Everybody there is a magician.
You're right.
Now,
it's all Colon magic, though.
Hell, a town called Hell. Remember that Clint Eastwood movie where he turned out to be perhaps a ghost?
It definitely was a ghost.
No one will ever define that. But remember, he painted hell above the town before the people came in.
badass.
Fucking scary shit, man.
Would you rather be from hell or from Satan's kingdom?
Satan's kingdom. That way, first thing I do is get a Harley. Just start fucking riding through. By the way, I want to point this out to people because somebody I know did it. Never make your own Hell's Angels vest and start driving around with it. I'll tell you why.
Why's that?
They don't like it.
Oh, they
really?
Yeah.
Do they ask for credentials?
This
or?
guy just thought it would be cool to be just driving around with the Hell's Angels thing on. Like I saw some other dude doing it. Great look.
Sounds cool. It's a cool name.
You and the Hell's Angels? Nope. Just got the best. Just got the best. It's
Then he doesn't stop.
But it looks badass, don't it? It's like going around, telling somebody that you're a Navy SEAL. And dudes do that. Dudes do that to pick up chicks. They'll be like, kind of fucking hard being a Navy SEAL and all.
Stolen valor.
Oh.
That's what they call it.
I like that fucking name, though.
Yeah. They call it the old stolen.
Stolen Valor, New York.
By the way,
where everyone says that they're support the troops because we're all troops, right?
Support us. By the way,
a town where just everyone lies to each other.
To me, by the way, when Chris did his Let's Name a Town after that, he was scratching his head with his pen.
Yeah.
Just an ink. To scratch part into it. I would love to shave your head just see how much scribble marks.
Chris, are you warm?
Yes, I'm warm. Yes, Gail. Is that what you're trying to say? The sweat stains? Yeah, I'm warm, Gail. Sweating up a goddamn storm.
They're
so cold in here.
Yeah.
Bullshit.
Dude, first of all, your impression of the Great Lakes is amazing. No one else can pull that off. I guess that's Lake Superior and then Lake Huron. Yeah, that fucking deal of people dressing up like someone, or at least going around in bars getting free drinks. But to me, the real heroes, and they never are celebrated, are the ones who kneel during the national anthem. To me, that's a real hero. Did you see last night how many autographs he was signing?
Oh, yeah.
How much they love him in San Francisco?
Yep.
They can't get enough of Kaepernick.
And he didn't even play.
They should have put him in at least for the last fucking quarter. Nothing was going to happen.
They should have let him come in and take a knee.
That's his thing.
Yeah.
Fucking perfect.
No one takes a knee. Like Kaepernick. There he is. Oh, what about the town Wounded Knee? That's a fucking great name for
that's a cool one.
Not even like broke knee or something.
Just wounded.
I mean, you gotta be
like, it'll get better.
But you gotta be shot. You can't walk past a nail and have it rip through you and say you've been wounded. Yeah. Or no one ever gets wounded in a car accident. You have to be shot or stabbed to be wounded.
Yeah, so it already sounds like a badass thing. I walked away with a wounded knee.
I'm going to give you a badass name for a town. It's where our cereal came from, Battle Creek.
That's great.
You're just like, what fucking took place there?
That sounds really cool.
Here's Vinny in the Bronx.
Yeah, when I was in the Navy, I had a chief from Flop Eye, North Carolina.
That's a fucking great one, man. Flop Eye. That's the way when Chris gets drunk. He gets flop Eye.
That's just based on one dude who was from there. You know it.
Chris wrote to us, second day in a row, only channel that worked is Opie Radio in terms of on demand. I don't know what it is about on demand, but it fucking sucks ass.
Yeah, it does.
And Opie Radio never has a single problem. I mean, their life is just unbelievable. Aaron in Missouri. Aaron.
Ron.
What's up?
I got two for you, but actually I got three. But one in Missouri here is called Knob Lick, Missouri. It's about 3 hours south of St. Louis.
Yeah.
And then the other two are in Pennsylvania. They're really close to each other. You can actually see the sign that has both names on Interstate 70. Shamokin and Pottsville.
Oh yeah, I've been to both.
A rep from Pottsville.
Yeah, we rocked Pottsville a little bit. I was just there on my way. I saw a UFO in Pottsville.
I have heard family stories about this.
Ignored. I've told it on the air before, Chris. So either you ignore me normally, or you just play to the fact. Tell the same story again, Grandpa. We love to hear it.
No.
Hey, here's somebody we always like to hear from, our best friend that we met at the Montreal Comedy Festival. It's Justin. Buddy.
Yo,
what's
up,
Justin?
guys? What's up? Not much. I'm just taking time off from class to come talk to you guys. There's a place in northern Quebec called Saint Tit.
No.
I swear to God. I'll grab a picture next time I drive by.
Please.
I don't think they know or care. So.
Hey, you're going to the Just for Laughs in Toronto, right?
Oh, yeah. I've been talking to Deborah about it. I'm looking forward to it. I'm really pumped.
What shows are you going to say?
Right now, I'm thinking for sure, Big J. I think I want to see Andy Kindler again. Who else? Oh, yeah, K. Trevor Wilson. In my mind, I think he won the roast battle, but, that's just my Canadian bias.
That's the thing. Canadians, they love Canadians. They just love Canadians so much. All right, make sure you check in with us after some of those shows. I hear it's supposed to be great, though. All right, peace.
Yeah, peace.
So Justin is actually going to be writing some stuff for the iBang.
That's awesome.
I know, it's really cool.
I love it.
Yeah. Who's our intern today?
Nick at Night.
Man, I couldn't even tell him how much I liked him more than the other guy.
Oh, yeah.
Hook?
Yeah, Marcus Hook, man.
You got hooked.
Marcus Hook.
I mean, I did like the way he sassafrased Chris.
Yeah,
I appreciated that.
I didn't know we were calling that sassafras.
I guess I got sassafras.
Dude, you laid down for that, though.
Why did you?
I don't feel like I laid down.
Oh my God, listen back. Listen back.
From, would you say an inferior when somebody is beneath you in rank? Is that your inferior?
Yeah.
Please don't scratch your head, because the whole wet pit.
I'll just keep my arms down as much as possible.
It's just close. As close to the body as possible.
I haven't seen you sweat this bad since Comedy 101.
That
went completely through your shirt.
Fucking worst sweat of my life.
That's how I'm sweating a blizzard.
I mean, it just comes out of me.
Yeah, I know how sweat works.
It pours
weirdo.
out, Gail. It pours out of my fucking pores.
God, you're so weird.
He's a kind of cool weird. Hipster doofus.
You think so?
I know so.
Pours out of me. So it happens.
Kevin in Georgia.
Hey, Ronnie, I think I've got the winner here. About 40 miles south of Charleston, South Carolina, on Highway 17, Cuckold Landing.
Wow, that's unbelievable. Chris, there should be a fucking big billboard of you. Welcome to Cuckold.
Meet the cuck.
Well, wasn't that your thing? You used to like to sit, watch your chick do it with black guys?
Nope, never. Not to the cuck scene.
When you would be wearing a cock cage. You don't get to touch yourself, Christopher.
Oh, man.
Look at this, Christopher.
That's fucked up. Sounds like my mom, dude. Fuck. Stop. Jesus Christ.
I've never seen him so disturbed.
You took that too hard.
That's my mom. Christopher. That's how she fucking sounds.
She told you that you had to wear a cock cage?
No,
what did
man.
she say?
No, I'm saying the sound of the voice, not the words coming out of your mouth.
And then she was wagging her hoo-ha around, saying you couldn't touch it.
Here's the thing.
Stop it.
By the way, you could have just ended that at words. You didn't have to add the coming out of your mouth.
I want to clarify.
Everything's coming out of him.
Hey, I'm hearing a little bit of a cold cough there, too. That's not a good sound.
That's bad.
He's been hiding his sickness like Hillary for days.
Well, I thought when he just faints, the downs kick in. I don't know what's going on with Hillary, but I do find it to be like fun TV.
Yeah, it's something
people
new.
sit around and talk about it all the time.
Keeps things interesting.
You know what? I've decided to change my vote. I'm going to vote for a body double. That's who I'm voting for.
I love that body double.
She's great.
Yeah. I call her Double Mint. That's my nickname for her. And now I got to look at that.
There's like a before and after where people are claiming. I'm going to try to find it for you.
Yeah. There's an AM before, Chris.
Let's see. Google fixes everything for you.
All right.
No, I'll try to find it.
Wouldn't it be funny if it was the body double that has pneumonia?
Yeah, that's what they're saying. Which really, it just looks like she ran a brush through her hair. She got a little color back, but they're saying body double.
That's a double.
Fucking glasses are so badass.
Yeah, they're really cool. But even people were claiming that the length of her fingers were different. They're like, look, the index finger here is longer. In the other picture, it's shorter.
I think it's making sense.
Well, first of all, that isn't her hand that's waving. That's another person's. So that's why they're confused. They're like, look at that man hand there. Let's go to Hayden in Minnesota. Hey, Hayden.
Hey, Ronnie B. First time, long time.
All right, man.
There's a town about 60 miles north of Fargo on the Minnesota side called Climax.
Climax.
Good.
Good.
Good, I like that.
I like when it comes out of him.
Right? Feels good.
Robert, what's up?
Yeah, just driving along in the truck.
Cool.
There's actually a city in Turkey called Batman.
Now, they ought to try to buy that. You know, DC should try to buy that.
Turn into a theme park.
Yeah. Oh, that's weird. They've never had a Batman theme park or a superhero theme park?
There was the ride. There's a Batman ride like at Six Flags, but never like a whole park.
Those fucking rides are a lie, though. You just put Aerosmith's picture on a fucking roller coaster.
This is tough. You'll get the full Aerosmith experience.
You don't. Like, to me, like a haunted house is fucking real. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not a haunted house roller coaster. That's just a roller coaster.
They never had a whole park, though. It's weird.
There's like a section of some park, though. Isn't there like a section of, maybe it's like Six Flags, it has like a Marvel section?
There should be something where kids can go in and fucking try to find the Joker, you know, Penguin. I don't know who else is in there. Two-Face?
Riddler?
Riddler?
Riddler.
Yeah, we'll get Rob Riggle.
Kids love him.
Kids love Rob Riggle.
They really do.
I don't even know what the next superhero movie is. The what do you call it? Finally came out on demand. I don't know. Captain America's fighting with Iron Man.
Civil War.
I think it's called Captain America's fight with Iron Man. I couldn't even turn it on. I was like, oh, maybe I'll catch up and see what people are into. I watched the trailer for it.
I just fast forward to the end to watch them all fight each other. Pretty cool, I guess. I don't know.
You don't want to be caught up in that dialogue.
Paul Rudd was there. Spider-Man was there.
Paul Rudd? What's he doing there?
He's Ant-Man.
Oh, I thought he was there from a rom-com. I forgot that he was Ant-Man. Do you like all those things, Vito? Are you a DC person or a Marvel person?
I'm more of a Marvel. I like the fun Marvel movies with the little thing at the end of the credits.
That lasts a second.
I know.
And that's his favorite part.
That's why he shows up.
Then you have to sit through the loud credits.
Don't DC movies do that too?
I don't think so, and I don't like DC movies that much. At first they were like too dark, and then they saw Guardians of the Galaxy, and they were like, let's make everything fun and a comedy.
I didn't even know that was DC, Guardians of the Galaxy.
No, it wasn't. I feel like they saw it, like that came out and did so well, and then Suicide Squad was just like kind of a ripoff of Guardians of the Galaxy. They were like, let's put
I thought it was a ripoff of Deadpool.
No, not Suicide Squad.
I don't know.
Oh my God.
I don't know what you mean.
How dare you say that?
I really don't know what you mean. I'm going to have to wait till Suicide Squad comes on demand.
I don't think I'm ever going to see it.
Are you a cosplay person? You like to dress up when you go to movies?
Not to movies, but I've went to Comic-Con and dressed up and like.
I feel like I've seen a couple cosplay pictures of you.
First of all, you should only play one character, Hulk. Bring him in. I just saw Don Wiki Wicklund walk by with the prize.
Yep. Looks like the prize is here.
Oh.
For Highlander.
The Highlander prize. We got to get a picture for the Twitter tweets.
Tell him to bring it in.
This is very exciting. I forgot. We even got updates
that's right.
from last night.
Yeah.
He's the best around. Nothing's ever gets him down. He's the best around. What do you got, Don?
A scribbled football.
A scribbled football. To me, this is the most impressive ever. The football signed by Mr. Joe Montana. Joe Montana. Who, in my mind, is the greatest quarterback of all time.
4.
With 4. 4-0.
4 out of 4.
Yeah.
100%.
Tom Brady.
That's massive.
Now, if Tom Brady gets 4-2, does he become better? Or the 2 losses?
The 2 losses negated. For having a perfect record? No.
Yeah. He should be Mr. Perfect. He does everything perfect. Don, this is fantastic. Who are we thanking for this?
Rolling.
Who gave it? Who gave the prize?
Steiner.
Steiner.
Steiner Sports.
Steiner Sports. Steiner Sports. They gave us a football. Steiner Sports.
Steiner Sports.
This is great.
That is awesome. That is amazing. So the winner of the Highlander 2016 will win that signed Joe Montana football.
We got updates from last night. So
wow. That's a crazy prize.
Yeah.
Bennington presents Highlander. There can be only one comedian football challenge. One comedian will live forever in infamy, never to be forgotten. There can be only one.
Hey, what's the last line of that he says? He says, forever is what? Chris is going to take a picture of the football so you can see it. But I'm going to give you a couple names here. Gail, I'm going to see if you can guess whether these people stay or will they go.
Okay.
Dave Hill and Chris Laker picked the same way.
Okay, I'm going to hope and guess that they stay.
Dave Hill and Chris Laker.
Has survived another week.
And I believe that's Dave Hill singing.
Beautiful, beautiful voice.
Because there was 2 games last night, so this becomes very exciting. My buddy, Mr. Tom Rhodes. Tom Rhodes, did he stay or did he go?
I'm gonna guess that Tom Rhodes stayed.
Tom Rhodes took the Redskins.
Eliminated.
I tried to get a hold of Tom about this, but he's had a one-nighter in Sri Lanka. So now, Open Mike Eagle, Daddy, Gino Bisconte, and Chris Stanley. Called the Midnight Stand.
I'm going to guess that they were eliminated because
all
of Chris.
Steelers fans.
Has survived another week.
Someone could actually fucking root for the Steelers. I was talking to your Aunt Robin the other day, and she said to me, I really hate the kids this time of year. Because the kids, she's got one set of nieces and nephews that root for the Steelers and another set that roots for the Ravens. Not disgusting.
Why do they do that? What is the purpose?
Bad parents. Bad parents.
Sounds like bad parenting.
Yeah. Well, one of their moms lives in Baltimore and pays attention to sports.
Okay.
Their dad doesn't. And the other one, they're just bandwagon jumpers.
Yeah.
A lot of people picking the Steelers to go all the way this year.
What about, why don't they support the Bucks?
Bad parents. Their parents. If your parents don't watch the local team,
yeah.
I think here's the thing. It's like someone can't say, I was a Capricorn and now I decided to become a Libra. It's what you're born into.
Yeah.
You're born into where your local fucking channel cheers, where your local sports story starts with. That's it. You don't get to choose your team.
Yeah.
And then this goes without saying, Kerry Coddett and Jackie Martling. You know they lost.
Eliminated.
Jackie was just finding out a new joke about what happens when a priest and a magician and a Jew walk into a bar. So he could not be gathered for... so that's all up on the iBag today. Put out your picture, Chris, of your signed Joe Montana ball. That's a great, great prize. That's an amazing prize.
This is your best yet, I think.
I think there's be only one professional football that would be more electric for me, and that is the man who we should all thank for making the Super Bowl famous, Mr. Joe Namath.
That would be your number. Would you call this then number 2 only to that?
Well, here's the thing. They're both West Pennsylvania guys, so you could probably skip a rock. A lot of great quarterbacks come out of Western Pennsylvania. None of them end up playing for the Steelers, which is crazy.
Why is that?
Well, Big Ben is from Ohio, right on the line. But, because you don't get a chance. They had a chance to pick Marino, though, and didn't get it. And Marino was from that area. Oh, you can worry too much about these things, folks. I'm not going to be honest. I guess he just made all the right moves, a la Tom Cruise and his Western Pennsylvania movie. I got to get out of this town, man. I'm 5'6". I want to be a football player. Poor Tom. Where? When's the last time you saw a white tailback? That would be the most rare sighting of all time. Okay, you got me, fucker. You know what? You might be right.
Is your mic on? What's it?
Oh my God, the guy in charge of
Was
fucking
it? I just
sound.
Taking pictures of levels here.
Right. That's why we tell you not to do it all yourself.
Yeah.
Trust in your team. But he's like, I got to do everything. No, you don't, Chris.
You don't think Nick and I can take a picture?
I know Nick and I can take a picture. I feel good about him.
Feel great about him.
Let me tell you something. You get Wally the Q card, stamp of approval. You're in like Flynn with me. That guy doesn't make a mistake. He makes a mistake, people die. Well, I mean, jokes die, at least. He makes a mistake and jokes die. He leaves a word out. Seth is fucked. You ever watch the Seth Meyers show at night?
I have, now and again.
I wish you'd get in a car and drive around and sing with people. That's
it's not singy. There's not enough just like fun games.
Yeah. No one's eating hot sauce.
Yeah.
Did you see that thing of those girls with the big tits eating hot sauce on the iBang yesterday?
No.
There's no reason for this. No one cares that someone ate hot sauce, but they're both in these push-up bras freaking out.
Okay.
And men are totally attracted to it.
So the pain and pleasure both.
Yeah, I think we like to see girls with big tits suffer. So if you're at to suffer, baby, look how they show up for the gig. This is not what you would wear.
We're going to be eating the Carolina Reaper pepper. These are the world's hottest peppers.
Oh my God. Girl on the left is really suffering.
Water is the worst thing to do. It just spreads the pain. Everyone should know that by now.
They're changing colors. Oh God.
It's still burning? She's just sitting here drooling.
Lay back.
Holy shit.
Lay back.
Are you okay?
No.
It's always the same thing. We should take her to the hospital type shit.
Holy hell.
I'm fine. I'm going to put her in the
Damn. I didn't think I hurt that bad.
This is not good. This is not fucking good.
You okay? You feeling any better?
They had no plan to this. I mean, the idea of having milk, ice cream, and bread has been around for fucking 30 years. And water is the worst thing you could do. Like throwing it on a grease fire.
Oh my God. And then just to see the disappointed adults as they're taken upstairs.
Do you know that
this is not good?
I cured Wiki of all his poison ivy problems. Remember I told you I had that idea for him?
Yeah.
He does it constantly now. You do it the same way that if you were a mechanic and you were removing grease, you have to scrub down because it's like an oil that gets on your skin. He hasn't had it since, and he says he rolls around in it. Because he has to go out and pull that stuff out of his property.
He has a very, like a very overgrown property. And he was saying, ugh.
Yeah, he lives out in the country.
The last time he had it, it was terrifying.
Yeah, he had to go to the hospital. It was like somebody threw acid on his skin. What are you handing me, Chris?
We have a guest, Ahmed Barucha. He has a Comedy Central half-hour special premiering this Friday, October 14th at midnight on Comedy Central. And he's going to be at the Eugene Merman Comedy Festival at Mermy.
Just take your time, dude. You're in no fucking hurry, okay?
Okay.
This is Bennington. It's not the fucking Snapchat.
Hey, we're cool, baby. We're just hanging out, Chris.
Ahmed Baruch is coming in studio.
Just relax.
I'm relaxed.
Just relax. Just say it like you're a person.
Comedian Ahmed Baruch is coming in studio.
You would never say that, though.
Comedian, say it properly.
Ahmed Barucha.
Yes.
Is coming in studio. He's performing at the Eugene Merman Comedy Festival at Union Hall in Brooklyn, New York, Saturday, September 17th.
Eugene Mermaid. It's a mermaid that I know.
Eugene Merman.
Eugene's like, what are you fuckers calling me, Mermy? I'll knock your shit out. What about his half-hour comedy special?
That's premiering October 14th on Comedy Central at midnight.
Was he going to be on at midnight?
He's not going to be on at midnight, but the Comedy
Central...
Central...
sound that way, though.
The Comedy Central half-hour special premieres at midnight on Friday, October 14th.
Who's coming in?
Ahmed Barucha.
All right, why don't we break here?
Yeah.
And we'll bring Ahmed in. This is Bennington.
Welcome back to Bennington. Comedian Ahmed Baruch is in studio. You can see Ahmed at the Eugene Merman Comedy Festival at Union Hall in Brooklyn, New York, Saturday, September 17th. Go to ticketfly.com for tickets. And his Comedy Central half-hour special premieres Friday, October 14th at midnight on Comedy Central.
Ahmed is the buzz right now. I was just telling him. Everybody's talking about him.
Well, thank you.
You put a couple things together at the same time.
Yeah.
Always a good idea.
Yeah. It's mostly my wife doing.
Is that right?
Yeah. She's the smart one.
She's hustling for you? She's getting it out there?
Yeah. She's smart. She's like, hey, make an album too. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Well, you know what? It's really funny, but stand-up is like one of the few places that a person is expected to do their own marketing.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? Like, it's not normally if you're a rock band or something, you have someone, or if you see somebody at the Oscars, like, my team is great. Very few comedians have a team.
Yeah, and that's
of people.
For the most part, for most people, that's the exact opposite personality type.
Yeah.
Right.
As somebody who would be a stand-up comic.
Exactly. We're all just a mess.
It's true. Now, it's an interesting year for the half hour because I saw Joe Mackey's the other night, and that thing was so strong.
Yeah, he's just one of the best.
No, he looks to me like he has completely now moved into manhood. Remember, like he was a baby before, you know?
His voice is dropping.
His voice is dropping, and it's weird to see him with confidence.
Yeah.
Because I remember when I first saw him, he looked like he was going to leave at any moment. I'm like, no, stay. You're funny. You're good.
He actually did Montreal with him, and he was everyone loved him, and he was trying to give it away. He was like, no, go talk to that guy.
Right. He's not... Well, he's got like a Midwestern charm.
For sure.
Where did you grow up?
Half California, half Rhode Island.
That's a strange mixture.
When I was 16, we moved because my mom wanted to move back where she was from, Rhode Island.
Yeah. I like people from Rhode Island because they bring up Rhode Island all the time. Like if they'll go, do you realize that this person came? And I'm like, no, I didn't realize that.
But you got to remind you because no one else is talking about it.
I know, but they're always like, this county is the exact same size as Rhode Island.
Yeah. People forget it exists.
Well, it's wrong that you have two senators. I mean, I would give them one.
Maybe a half.
But they got the same amount of senators as Texas or California. Yeah. That's crazy. You know that those senators are taking shit, too. Like, from the other people that are like, oh, did you go out and you got elected? What'd you do, ride around on your bike? Because everybody else got this whole, and you got all different ethnic groups that you have to please and different things. And then you go to Rhode Island and you can throw a rock across the place.
You just go on your porch and yell out.
Yeah. The Farrelly brothers go out of their way to shoot their movies in Rhode Island and then stock them completely with Rhode Island people.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
A lot of times I tell people I'm from Rhode Island and they hear Long Island. They don't even know.
Is that right?
Yeah. They're like, Long Island? Like, no, they're a state.
Never heard of it.
We're a state, dude, a real one.
We exist.
But do you like sit around and you just like look at Delaware and you're like, I know we could take those fuckers.
Oh yeah, Delaware's got nothing on us.
Well, you know, the thing about Delaware that they do have is they were the first state, and they don't mind bringing that up. They were the first state. Yeah, they were the first state. Oh, look at their license plates. The first state. They were the first state to sign the Constitution.
You know what else? They're scrappy. You know what I mean?
People in Delaware?
I think they're a little scrappy. Yeah.
Well, you know, they got George Thorogood, and then that's it. That's as far as they go. Joe Biden is from Delaware.
Yeah.
Oh.
Jumping Joe Biden, the Amtrak vice
This is
president.
the most I've ever heard about Delaware.
Yeah, well, I grew up right near there and would go, believe it or not, there's a pretty cool beach scene in Delaware, the Rehoboth and Dewey Beach. It's a small state, but they really drink a lot.
Now, the interesting thing about Delaware, I think that accent is that you're kind of taking the Philly accent, but then because of that beach scene, I think it makes it almost
Surfery.
surfery Philly. It's a very weird sound.
Yeah, it is. And they're always just waiting for. Well, Rhode Island's got a beach scene too, right?
Oh
in the
yeah,
summer?
for sure.
But
it doesn't affect our accent though. I think we just have like
I don't
nasally or Boston.
Yeah, I've never heard of someone being there's a very Rhode Island accent.
Yeah.
Well, Rhode Island always had a pretty good mafia scene too, which is
I think
unusual.
we still got a
Providence.
decent one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Federal Hill.
Yeah, Federal Hill
the
is like
last
a
stand.
spooky place. Like it gets really fucking weird there fast. You're like, I thought this is a place I could drop my guard. No, you can't. You can still get hit with a flashlight by an Italian guy.
Yeah, we're like the small angry dog of the United States.
Yeah.
Just yapping.
Well, that's what happens is that, you know, people are like, oh, you think we're a small state? I'll fucking fight you right now. And you're just like, easy, man. I just
How
said.
small is this, huh?
Ow! Ow! What do you think is like the oldest you can be and still be in a fist fight? Because I just saw this thing. Jack Vaughn is the VP here and he used to run Comedy Central Records and all that.
Mm-hmm.
His dad is almost like an Ernest Hemingway type guy where he was the second guy in the Peace Corps and he was an ambassador in Iran and all that. So I was like, I was talking to him yesterday. I said, you know, I really just want to find out what your dad did for the CIA. And he was going like this. Hey, my father had nothing to do with the CIA. And he started to give me reasons, right? And I'm like, anyone else
That's
would
not
just...
a good sign.
Yeah, everyone else would just think it's a joke. And he went through why his dad wasn't in the CIA. But one of the things about his dad is like, when he was 82 and he got mugged in New York and knocked the guy out that was mugging him.
Wow.
And I'm like, if
Yeah,
you're
okay.
82, you're still knocking dudes out.
You better get out of the mugging game if that happens. to you.
Yeah, I quit. I ain't mugging people anymore. I'm not good at it. I should have a gun or something to be a sniper.
But if you're talking just like a regular kind of bar fight,
A bar fight.
Mm-hmm.
I would say once you're out of your very early 20s, it's a bad look.
Wow.
23 or 24, you should stop
I think that
punching.
you've hit.
See, I'm more.
the
I
level.
don't fight anyone, but I'd be more afraid of an older man.
Really? Because
they just have like that weird old man strength. You're just shaking an old man's hand.
Yeah. Well, they came from a more masculine time.
Exactly, yeah.
I mean, the way that you're dressed now, right? This was the 1950s.
This is how I dress, so no one will fight me.
Yeah, but you're dressed like they would have considered you in your underwear in the 1950s. And comedians will do that. Yeah.
But
Sarah told him how she came in yesterday. I thought we woke her up. That's how she came in. Like she had just walked out of bed. on the way here.
She immediately started saying, I'm dressed for the gym, but I thought it was okay because it's radio, right? This is okay because it's radio, like no one's
Yeah,
going to see me.
I didn't know they were going to describe what I was.
Chris, what's the cutoff age for being in a fist fight?
29, I'd say.
Really? You're going to go that late?
I'll say that you can get away with it that late. Yeah, 30.
I think
seems
it's
like
a bad look. I think once you hit mid to late 20s, if you're just fighting to fight, right?
Yeah.
You're not defending someone.
Yeah,
you're
that's
not,
different.
Yeah.
if you're just fighting because you had too much to drink and you have a shitty personality, I don't think it works after the early 20s. I think immediately you're like,
Yeah.
dude, you have a problem. That's when it started to be friends of mine who were always like that. Everyone started to go, hey man, I think you might have a problem. Even though they were doing that same shit
Right.
maybe 5 years before, The ones who continued that behavior.
Well, normally when young men fight, it's to test themselves. So you should be pretty tested by the time you're in your mid-20s. You're like, here's where I fall into it. But we don't value fighting anymore. We used to value fighting. Now we value people who can figure shit out.
Make an app.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to make an app instead. Like, something, motherfucker, I'm going to make an app. I'm just going to keep sending you IMs.
You want to go outside and make an app?
Two dudes are just out making an app as quickly as they can.
I like the idea that women would still respond to it the way that kind of caveman fighting. It's like, he made a really great app. Like a really good app.
So
and other guys stunk.
Look, here's the thing. What women find hot is money more than accomplishment.
Yeah.
Like, they're like, I don't know, he has a junkyard, but he's really doing well, so I like him.
It's a really good joke.
Yeah. But Chris, you don't bring up your love life right now, right?
No, I don't.
You're taking a breather, from what I understand? You two step back away from each other?
Who knows what's going on?
Well, I'll say this.
You do. You know.
Who knows?
Is she returning your calls?
Who knows?
What was the last conversation?
I'll
fill in the blanks. I never want to see you blank.
I don't even know how Mad Libs works.
You could be in the mafia.
Yeah, he could, man. That's true, dude.
Yeah, I'm closed mouth.
Look, let me tell you something about this guy, and he's a terrible person.
Yeah,
but if I needed somebody to help me get rid of a body, not only would he do it, but he would know the best place to go. And those guys are appreciated.
Yeah.
Loyalty above all else. Vito, on the other hand, you're not loyal to anyone.
No, I'm a lone.
You're a gossip. You couldn't make it in the mafia.
He likes friends. That's the thing. When you like friendship.
Oh, they meant the show. It was weird.
Well, he does. He does like
Chandler
Friends.
Bing. He's a Chandler Bing.
Does anyone really like Friends, though? Like, oh, man, Friends is coming on.
Like, Friends is like one of those things, like, it's a comfort.
Right.
Like, it's on. It's like a good thing to fall asleep on the couch
Here's
watching.
the thing about Friends. It's on as much as Seinfeld. And yet people will bring up Seinfeld at a party or try Seinfeld trivia on you. No one does Friends trivia.
Yeah.
No.
Well, because nothing's relatable. No one's like, this happened on Friends.
Yeah. It's a Friends moment. First of all, no one could believe that in New York City you could get the same couch over and over.
Right. I mean, you can take a BuzzFeed quiz and find out which friend you are.
If I'm not Chandler, I'm not playing.
I'm obviously Phoebe.
Phoebe?
I always get Phoebe.
Who do you really?
Gunther.
You're such a Gunther.
And you know what? I don't even think they put him in the last episode, which is shitty as hell. That fucking cashier from Seinfeld got more play than her. You ever been to the diner up near Columbia where, it's supposed to be the whole gimmick?
Yeah.
And the whole time that you're in there eating, people are just talking about Seinfeld. They're like, remember the big salad? They actually have Jerry's big salad instead of Elaine's.
Oh, that's annoying.
Like, they've never watched the show.
It's Elaine's big salad. It's a big salad.
See,
what do I go say? Big salad? Yeah.
See, no, you didn't do any of the lines for Friends. Could you be any more annoying?
Cosmo Kramer's Marble Rye.
Yeah. Who do you relate to, Chris?
Was there like who was the dude who was with
who doesn't know the Friends? Hold on. There is no way to start this conversation.
Who was the guy with Jennifer Aniston?
You're talking about Alf. He wasn't
the guy with Jennifer Aniston.
I swear, I never
think
watched
of yourself
a
as
lot
a
of
Ross?
Every male cast member.
You're so
Who was the pillhead?
Ross. Are you Ross?
Who's not? Why would like love fucking pills?
Yeah, but you're not. That's in real life, not on the show.
Character. No one ate pills on the show.
But the actor, what character did he play? The guy who loved value.
The Chandler Bing.
Why do you not know Chandler Bing? Is that what you're trying to say?
I thought Chandler was the Ross guy.
No.
Was he an archaeologist?
No, that's Ross.
That's Ross.
That's
okay.
Ross.
But Chandler can't be Ross.
Yeah, it's. I
Sounds like you're a Joey.
So
Why don't you
Joey
plug
was the
away?
neighbor.
Why don't you plug away?
All right,
That's why
Joey was the neighbor.
That's why he's here.
There was no neighbor.
They were two apartments.
called neighbors.
I'm at Barucha's in studio. You can see Ahmed at the Eugene
Plug
Merman
away.
Comedy Festival at Union Hall in Brooklyn, New York, Saturday, September 17th. Go to ticketfly.com for tickets. Ahmed's Comedy Central half-hour special premieres Friday, October 14th at midnight on Comedy Central, and Ahmed's album, Almond Badoody, Comes out Friday, October 14th on iTunes.
Album, show, new face, everything's happening at the same time.
Also getting coffee later.
Oh, nice.
Things are really happening for you.
By the way, you know who the Eugene Merman having his own festival? He is the most do-it-yourself guy I've ever met in my life. And the only person I've ever met who majored in stand-up comedy in college. He made up his own major. He went to some school that, is a little bit hippie-ish.
Lets you do that.
Yeah, it was a hippie
somewhere in Vermont or
somewhere in that area where they're like, yeah, that's something to pursue. Instead of trying to slap it out of them like any responsible adult would do.
Doesn't make sense. Say something else.
We'd rather see you dealing crack right now than working as a stand-up.
Yeah.
Well, I was saying this too about stand-ups too, is like, this is the weird thing about it. They are lazy as people. It's one of the reasons so you can sleep late and all. But then they're the only ones who would like drive 2,000 miles to do 3 one-nighters. You know what I mean? Like they really are intensely...
We're accidentally hard workers.
Yes. They don't set out to be. They don't do it. And then they're like, no, I'm out on the road for the next 162 days. That's it. I'm gone for a while. But I always think it's the funniest thing because there's more money in the road, but I think you feel further away from your career when you're on the road.
For sure.
Like, okay, I had a good show last night in Bismarck.
Nobody cared.
Yeah, what's that mean? Though? Does it mean anything? There's no way that people know. And it's very funny when I talk to industry people about this. They always say, no, there is no undiscovered talent, right? Mm-hmm. That the talent is discovered when they're supposed to be, and it all works out. I don't know. I just think that there's some guys that have been out on the road.
Say that, right?
yeah, right, exactly. We don't miss anybody.
Yeah,
but
we're doing everything right.
You know that that there's some guys out on the road that are better than anybody.
Oh yeah,
that you've ever seen on TV.
Yeah, I think that's just ego saying that. It has to be because the idea of like that they could miss something would drive them nuts.
But their point is they want to make money. You know what I mean? They go, we want to make money. We're not here to hold people back for not living in New York or LA.
But they have to come across and say, if you have a taste level to say, that person's really funny, but I can't figure out how to market that person. Mm-hmm. I can't figure out how to make that person money. There's no show that person fits into. Yeah. So therefore I'm going to pass, even though you know.
I will tell you this. Jimmy Schubert shot his own special. It's a fucking sledgehammer. I mean, it's so goddamn funny. I don't know who is going to show it, but I'm waiting for this thing to explode. It's unbelievable. He just goes out there and just knocks it out of the park for an hour. Wow. Such a tough thing to do. Yeah. You know? It's like never not be funny for an hour. Everyone said something and we're all laughing, but keep going like that for an hour. It's just it's a really difficult thing. It's a crazy thing to say. I'm going to make everybody laugh for an hour. Yeah. That's it. That's what I'm going to do.
Are you ready?
He's standing in the back. I'm going to go. I got 5 minutes and I make everybody laugh for a whole hour. Like it was the funniest joke that you ever heard, but that keeps going for an hour. To a certain point, you're like, I've laughed too
you
much.
Need a dip or something.
Yeah.
But even if you watch, let's say you watch someone's hour, and it's not your favorite thing, but you maybe laugh a couple times, and then somebody would be like, it was okay. But then you think like back and you're like, well, that was like 5 or 6 killer jokes.
Right. Mm-hmm. Over an hour.
It's
unbelievable.
If you had dinner with somebody for an hour, they made you laugh hard 6 times, you'd be like, that person's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, you've got to be like, you know what? Let's do this again. Let's do this again. I'm loving it. I'm bringing 15 friends with me. And you know what? More friends at 10:30, so let's just have one dinner. But if you think, too, just think of like the only person when you're a kid that you ever see talk for an hour is a teacher. And they're never funny. No. Never.
Even when they try to be.
That's when they're at their fucking worst. Yeah. That's when you really hate them. I remember being in first grade just thinking, she's still talking.
Oh, yeah.
Like, there's all of us sitting here, and this one fucking person is talking.
I had a teacher, I think he was my 3rd grade teacher, and no one liked him, and it was a very bad relationship. It was like the whole class was against him.
Right.
He just never won us over. And I remember one day he was trying to seem lighthearted. He was like one of those like teachers with the explosive temper.
Right.
So he would just go like 0 to 60 and then his face would be like bright red. So we just like hated him. He was just terrible. And I remember one day he tried to connect to us by, he played, this is my favorite song, and he played Disco Duck and started dancing to it.
I was a kid toucher.
And it was like,
He touches
we were,
kids.
I mean,
I taught a little in college, and I thought it was harder than stand-up.
Yeah, I can't imagine doing it.
Yeah.
I would actually physically hit kids because I can't take their shit as it is. There was, we had a class and, somebody was writing some shit on the desk about the teacher was like scratching it into the desk, and the teacher came up behind him and saw him and just went like that and just smashed his face in and chipped the fucking tooth.
Shit.
And we never saw the teacher again. And people in the school, will you sign this to bring him back? And I go, you know,
hated
because
that kid.
Yeah, they just thought like he made one mistake, and I said I can't sign anything for any teacher. You know what I mean? The way fucking criminals think about cops.
Yeah, I'm not a rat.
That's how I feel about teachers.
yeah,
That there might be a good one out there, but I'm not going to spend my time looking for them.
no way.
I thought of them as the enemy
Yeah.
from fucking kindergarten to being a senior. What were you teaching?
Theater. But to people that didn't want to learn theater.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it was a 101 class.
Right.
Like elective. Gen Ed. So
Yeah.
And
they're
how old
like,
are these?
I was like about a senior, and they were freshmen in college.
Yeah.
Nightmare.
Yeah, by the end it was okay. We won over some kids, but in the beginning they were just like, don't make me do this. And people who don't like theater, they really hate it because they've only seen like 1 or 2 bad plays.
Oh yeah,
Let's get
because you
outta
see
here.
local theater first.
Yeah.
And it's garbage.
Everybody's relationship was like, oh yeah, I don't like theater.
Yeah.
I saw my school put on
Yeah.
Annie or something.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, that, you know.
That's how I used to open the class. I'd be like, who doesn't like theater? And everyone raised their hand and be like, was it because you saw a bad play? And they'd be like, yeah. And I'd be like, have you ever seen a bad movie?
Right.
I'm like, yeah. I'm like, you still like movies?
Right. What if the only movies you ever saw were just done by high school students?
Yeah.
Like, you
Never
would be
gonna
like,
watch a
movies
movie
sucked.
again.
They're awful.
That's not a tree.
Yeah.
That's not a tree. Even if it's good theater, it takes me 5 minutes to catch. Like, okay, I'm gonna surrender myself. I always start real tight when I'm watching theater.
Yeah.
I saw something, and especially if it's just like a black background and shit, you know, you really got to use your imagination. Every time they come out on stage, I'm like, oh, fuck, is this what, hour and a half?
Yeah. You're competing with Star Wars, and you see Star Wars, and then you go into, there's the guy with makeup on.
Right.
But then you can see his eyeliner. Like, this isn't going to be good.
But then when it works, it's so powerful.
Yeah.
It's so fucking
There's
amazing.
nothing like
And
it.
you try to explain that to people who don't like it. Like, I still struggle with a musical.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, a musical isn't my thing.
That's
But-
the first thing people mostly see, right?
Yeah.
It's the most
Yeah.
generic thing to do.
Chris,
But-
you're not going to plug today?
Of course I'm going to plug.
just plug every once in a while.
All right. I'm Ahmed Baruch in studio. You can see him at the Eugene Merman Comedy Festival at Union Hall in Brooklyn, New York, Saturday, September 17th. Go to ticketfly.com for tickets. His Comedy Central half-hour special premieres Friday, October 14th at midnight on Comedy Central. His album, Almond Badudi, comes out Friday, October 14th, too, on iTunes. And he's going to be a regular on the upcoming series Dream Corps, coming this fall to Adult Swim.
Thank you.
Got a lot of stuff happening, dude.
I know.
Yeah, it's the only month I'll be doing anything.
Yeah, but now we all feel really lazy.
Yeah.
We got nothing happening. I'm going to read a book later. I'm going to read a book about Motown.
November is going to be real slow for me.
Yeah. You got time.
Yeah.
How much time do you make sure that you take off for yourself, though?
Most of my time.
Yeah, most. Because that is the thing. Like, you can work real hard as a stand, but then you can get 2 weeks off for no apparent reason.
For sure. I like to go back and forth.
Yeah.
Make sure I got something in the horizon and then relax.
Right. See, that's the thing, though. But the weird thing about, like, anytime they've ever been in between gigs, it's not a good feeling, but it would have been if I knew when I was starting the next one.
Exactly.
Like, if I found out, like, you're not going to work for 3 months, but then you're going to work. I'd be like, this is fucking great.
Yeah.
It's nice 3 months.
Yeah, but then it feels like, oh, you're never going to work
Exactly.
again. That's it. You're done working.
That's kind of what keeps me motivated, because that feeling of like, if I don't get the next thing, it's over.
It is old. Yeah, well, that's the other thing about show business in America is like, they don't need you. You know what I mean? Like, I don't care.
Another
Like,
guy.
Marlon Brando died. We still make movies.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Francis Ford Coppola stopped making movies. Crazy. There's just
Still many movies.
there's movies. There's people. Other people are going to do it.
Even when people kind of mourn whatever it is, it's crazy how quickly you go back to going, oh, well, that's just the way it is now.
Mm-hmm.
Like you think, like someone like Robin Williams, it felt like, well, this is crazy.
Shall we ever laugh again?
Yeah, or
His one hit the hardest, I think.
Yeah.
Any celebrity death I've witnessed, it was just like, ooh.
Yeah.
Well, it came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And then everything about it was appalling. You know what I mean? Like all the details are just terrible. And a lot of people just grew up loving that dude.
Yeah.
Loving him.
And
Such a wide variety, too.
Yeah, that's
hit
exactly.
every topic and every
every like
genre.
generation too. Like little kids loved him, but if you
from like
grew
the
up,
genie to like what was that?
Right.
Where he's the creepy photo booth guy.
Oh, yeah, the one that he, World's Greatest Dad.
Oh, yeah.
Where Bobcat Goldthwait
Yeah,
directed
yeah.
it. It's unbelievably dark and weird. And he was really good at dark and weird. But also the weird thing about him, people in Paris felt that way. People in Berlin.
Universal.
Yeah, I mean, it's a hard thing to do because he jumped around in the movies, went out but I guess you don't even have to know English that well to be like, oh, that's
because I don't understand what he's saying most of the time.
Yeah.
It's just fast and funny rhythm and good voices.
I remember the day that he died, I was at a movie screening right next door, Fox, right? So just in this room that, it's movie critics and a couple of normal people watching a movie. So I turned my phone off, and when I left, I turned my phone back on, and I was walking to the bathroom. I just started hearing bing, 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 bing. And I'm like, oh, fuck, another 9/11. Because that's, what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, why would anyone try to get in touch with me unless you're in the city? And then saying that, I'm like, this feels crazy.
Yeah.
I couldn't even take it in. Couldn't even take that one in. And then when you heard the details. But Bobcat was the one who told me that he did have some kind of disease that fucked him up.
Which is probably why he was so brilliant. He was just trying to find some kind of happiness.
Yeah, some way to keep moving. Do you think that there's an empty spot in all comedians, you think?
Yeah, I think so. There's got to be some reason to want that much attention. I think then the best, like Chris Farley, I feel like you watch a documentary on him and you're just like, oh, that's way sadder than I knew he was a sad guy, but that's why he was so energetic and so nonstop, because at every moment he just wanted so much more attention.
It's never enough, man.
Yeah.
It's never enough. And everybody loved him. That's what kills you about Chris.
Yeah.
He's like, I feel bad. I'm not. And you're like, dude, everybody fucking loves you.
That's what it is. They just think that everything's garbage and they have the most love in the world.
Is there a happy, confident, funny person? I mean, I'm gonna give you a name because I never see him wearing, but maybe he does. But Doug Benson seems to me like he doesn't.
I guess you just have to be stoned all the time.
That's what it is.
But also, that's not a good sign.
Yeah, right.
That guy seems to have it all together. The guy that's never not stoned.
That's well, there's a thing in recovery is that we spend more time trying to deal with the drug or alcohol rather than the sadness that makes people, even happy people, are like, oh, there's got to be more. Maybe if I just change the way I feel right now. But that's all people are trying to do when they get high, is just change the way they feel right now. I remember doing it even to feel worse, like, oh, a Nazi drug. I'll take it. I mean, at least it's not this.
Yeah.
It's
a change.
There's some weird meth PCP combination.
That sounds different.
I hope it works. So stupid.
That'll definitely change the channel.
Did you ever do Doug's movie show?
No, I've never done it.
Dude, there's nothing more confusing in the world. There's no show that I ever felt like I was more in a dream than that show. Because everyone understands it except for the people playing.
Yeah.
The people playing are looking around. I'm just going, would this be an answer?
And I was in the audience and just being like, what?
Yeah.
What's happening right now? And the audience knows everything. They know the system. They know when they're supposed to hold up their signs. They know when they're supposed to have donuts.
Yeah.
I don't know. They know when
I've been to a show before, and it is intense. Yeah.
What was the game that I gave them? They used a couple times.
That was the Ron Bennington Adjusted for Inflation game. But
it's not called the Ron Bennington Adjusted for Inflation.
That's what he's calling it on his show.
No,
I thought we called it Mr. Mojo Rising.
Yeah, Mr. Mojo Rising, I thought.
Mr. Mojo Rising.
You just saw the Ron Bennington adjusted for inflation game. I'm not adjusted for inflation.
That was the description of the show.
Let's play a couple rounds. Just see if you can do it with us.
Oh, nice.
I hope Doug is still playing this.
Every day.
I like to have something named after me no matter where I go.
Yeah, like a sandwich. Or...
I get it. Well, she has a sandwich. I have a cupcake, but a best-selling cupcake.
What's the cupcake?
It's the Ron Bennington has his own cupcake is the name of it. But it's in
creative name.
Chicago at Molly's, one of the great of all time. I think they even do it in New York. But I'm very proud of that.
Does it feel like it represents you?
It does, because I ripped off two of my favorite tasty cakes from when I was a kid. Tasty cake is a thing in Philly. Mm-hmm. So it's got chocolate, peanut butter, and butterscotch in it.
Wow.
I just feel like it hit something.
I'll get that.
It's probably the only thing I'm ever going to be known for.
It's a good one,
That's not bad. That's not bad.
No. That's not bad. It's better than, having a radio show that people remember. Okay, I'm being told now that Ron Bennington is available at all 5 Molly's locations. Molly's. Nice. Look it up if you're near 5 different places.
Have you ever been to 5 places?
Some people go and they try to hit all 5. There's 2 in Chicago, 2 in New York, and then 1 in New York, and then 2 in Iowa. Iowa's very big on cupcakes.
I'm going to try to do all 5 in one day.
That would be unbelievable.
All
Chris,
5.
why are you struggling with this? You want somebody else to do it?
Okay. Here's the actor.
No, well, you got to explain the game first.
Oh, yeah.
I forgot how the game is.
Okay, I'll tell you how the game is played. So if you take a movie, right? Let's say what movie made more money, Guardians of the Galaxy or Jaws? Guardians of the Galaxy probably made more money, but if you adjust for inflation, and Box Office Mojo already does that. Mm-hmm. So boom. Now he has it worked out where you get 3 points for first or 2 point whatever. Why are you struggling, Chris? What can't you find?
I'm trying to find where the adjusted for inflation part is of the website.
Vita, would you know Box Office Mojo? Chris, you go back to plugging. You do that really well.
Ahmed Baruch is in studio. You can see Ahmed at the Eugene Merman Comedy Festival at Union Hall in Brooklyn, New York, Saturday, September 17th. Go to ticketfly.com for tickets. Ahmed's Comedy Central half-hour special premieres Friday, October 14th at midnight on Comedy Central. And his new album, Almond Badootie, comes out Friday, October 14th on iTunes.
That's funny just to make him say over there.
And Ahmed will be a regular on the upcoming series Dream Corp, coming this fall to Adult Swim.
Adult Swim is the big thing, huh? You got to get something on Adult Swim. That's what's all happening.
Yeah, that was fun. It was really. They do a lot of really crazy kind of shows there. Mm-hmm. So it was just every day on set was something crazy. I got to ride a donkey.
Really?
I was like painted as a zebra, and then I was also painted as a zebra. It was fun.
That's something you can't work towards. You can't plan for. Vito, did you find it?
Yes.
Well, then we'll play rather than just say that you found it.
So, if we were to do a movie directed by Steven Spielberg.
I'm going to go with it already. I already said it. I think it's Jaws. What do you think, Gail?
I'm going to say it's E.T.
Oh.
Indiana Jones.
The first one?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Vito?
Gail was right. It's E.T.
Damn.
Ooh.
I remember when E.T. became #1 movie.
Wow.
Mr. Mojo Rising. And then everyone sings it for you? Is that part of the game?
Yeah, Mr. Mojo
Rising.
Let's try to see if we can get them on. Riding. Bam! Ow! He lost his shit doing that song, didn't he?
He has a good time. He has a good time with his song.
Yeah, let's redo that, Jim. Just take it down just a notch. I mean, I love the energy. Just that you just start making sound effects after a while.
It's great because it's always easier to dial back than pump up. So good instinct.
Do they say that? Is that what you used to say in the voiceover business?
Give me too much, and then let me tell you to take it down.
Just down a bit.
It's very difficult to be like, and like you love it.
Yeah.
More.
Vito, you ready with the next one?
Out of all the James Bond movies.
Oh, I don't know any of them.
Oh, my gosh.
I don't know.
Never,
I'm going to say Goldfinger because I don't know them. I never watched a whole James Bond movie. I just start to feel stupid.
I've never watched any of them. I've said this before.
The pussy one.
Pussy Willow.
Pussy galore.
It was Thunderball. I just thought that was interesting because that's not one that you would ever think of.
I never even heard of Thunderball.
Exactly.
Sounds made up. That's a town. It's a town name.
That's a weird town name somewhere. You wish you were a part of this now, Chris? You wish you had done it better?
I like plugging Ahmed. So that's
oh, yeah. But you could do both.
Yeah.
Most people would be able to do both.
Oh.
But the problem is you didn't get to get Mojo Rising sung at you.
Come on, Vito.
Tom Hanks movies.
I am going to say... Oh, it's not my turn.
No, go ahead.
Sorry.
Go ahead, because you got the last one.
Okay. I'm going to say Forrest Gump.
That's what I would have said, too.
Yeah, that's a good
Okay,
one.
so
That was going to be mine. It's Forrest Gump, right?
It is Forrest Gump.
Yeah.
All right, that wasn't fun.
No. Well, it's fun. It's fun when you...
Philadelphia. I changed mine to Philadelphia.
City of brotherly love. City of love. They have two
That would
sad
be kind of
songs.
sad if that was
Philadelphia.
it's his most popular film.
Yeah. I always thought that movie should have been Sylvester Stallone. And Rocky had AIDS. Not a dry eye in the house.
Oh, my God.
Not a dry eye. And then he's just sitting there with Polly's robot.
And all the
Pauly's
people
robot.
he fought would have to go get tested.
Clubber Lang shows up, Rook. Hey, Rook. Come on, Vito. Don't take forever.
This would have been a way better premise for Creed, I think.
I know.
Maybe that was.
Of all of the superhero movies.
Come on. Just give us a thing that we'd be able to... I know what it's going to be anyway.
Avengers.
Yeah, it's got to be an Avengers.
It's going to be a... What's Iron Man? It's an Iron Man.
Yeah, but the Avengers is Iron Man with the
The first Avengers movie.
Yeah. All right. You're not even trying now, dude. Go ahead and plug while he's doing this, Chris.
Ahmed Barucha's in studio.
Why are you sad about it?
No, be happy.
His Comedy Hour half special.
Don't
Give me
make
more,
me
Chris. Give me more.
His Comedy Central half hour special premieres October 14th.
October? Oh, okay.
Friday, October 14th at midnight on Comedy Central. That same day, his album, Almond Baduti, comes out on iTunes. And this Saturday, September 17th, he'll be at the Eugene Merman Comedy Festival at Union Hall in Brooklyn, New York. Go to ticketfly.com for tickets. And this fall, Dream Corps is coming to Adult Swim, which he'll be a regular on.
Now, you did this half-hour comedy special in New Orleans?
In New Orleans, yeah, it was awesome.
Had you worked there before?
Yeah, once before. I love the city, though.
Yeah, the city's great.
So
It's
much
never
energy.
had a constant comedy scene there for some reason.
I think that kind of just seems like the spirit of New Orleans in anything, where it just it can never completely figure it out. Just kind of this weird jazzy. We'll do something.
Yeah, we're going to be partying and dancing to music that you wouldn't normally dance to.
It'll all get flooded over at one point, and then we'll start again.
But you think that, there's they're a nightlife town, that there could be...
I think that might be the problem, is there's so much other things to do that it's hard to keep people focused on the comedy.
Even when you're in a good bar, you're like, let's leave here.
Yeah.
It's just...
Because you can
walk
just
down
take the drink
street.
out.
Yeah. Let's just walk down the street drinking, and maybe we'll meet someone.
Usually that's part of comedy. Give them a beer, they have to stick around and finish it.
Stay. You can't take that with you. Now, the other thing is, like you said, you enjoy music in New Orleans that you wouldn't enjoy anywhere else.
Yeah.
You're just like, this is fucking great. Some guy's just playing a table leg.
Suddenly you're
fuck yeah.
There's an
You're
alligator
like out
playing
with
the
your
saxophone.
umbrella.
Yeah. This is terrific. And then later you get home and you buy the album and you're like, I don't know what I was thinking.
Silly.
I've done that so many times with reggae where I'm like, I would come back from vacation and say to the program director, I've got a fucking band for our channel. And then they're like, you were next to the pool and you were high.
Yeah.
It sounds great. But you can't. Now imagine people going to work and they're hearing this. They're not going to want to. They're not going to dig it at all. Well, that's the big boss. That's as big up as you can go here.
He's got that kind of feel.
Yeah, his last name is actually Serious.
You pointed at me.
Serious?
I just felt like I had to do something.
All right, Vito, last one.
Ben Affleck.
I'm going to say the new Batman movie that he did.
That's sad.
Gail?
What could be... Oh, I know. It's going to be adjusted for inflation. It'll be Armageddon.
Oh, good call.
Yeah. I'm going to say Good Will Hunting, but I know that's wrong.
What do you got?
It's Armageddon. Second was Batman vs. Superman.
And Good Will Hunting? Where is that?
It's like 15.
That comes in fourth.
Oh,
yeah.
nice. Oh, yeah, cool.
That was a big independent hit.
What was third?
Third is because he had an appearance in Suicide Squad.
Oh, that's cheating. I don't like that.
Not
That's
fair.
cheating.
He was in it for a second.
I didn't see it yet, so you ruined that for me. I thought he was going to be throughout the whole thing.
Sorry. Spoiler alert. after.
It's a fun game.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I know. I gave it to Doug, and if he's like, this wouldn't work. And I understand he started doing it. But you think you know, like you forget so many things. I'm going to give you one, and I don't even know this. Keanu Reeves. Matrix. What do you think?
I would say the second Matrix or something.
I'm going to say Speed. I'm going to say Speed 94. Hey, Vito, make sure you adjust that for inflation. But I do
Adjusting for inflation.
I do know that the second Matrix made a lot more money than the first, and they were all unhappy.
Because people were pumped for it.
Yeah, everybody was like, I can't wait. That was a movie I saw like 9:30 in the morning in New York.
Yeah.
It's The Matrix Reloaded.
That's the one.
Second. I'm pretty good at Mr. Mojo Rising.
Yeah.
Second is Matrix. Third is Speed.
Wow.
4 is Parenthood.
And then Bill and Ted.
Parenthood. Wow.
Then 5 is Matrix Revolution.
Keep going.
6 is Something's Gotta Give.
Wow.
Go ahead. Keep going.
7 is Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Oh, all right. What's 9?
Then we got the Devil's Advocate.
Oh, yeah. 10th?
Constantine.
11?
Wow.
A Walk in the Clouds.
Huh? Oh, that's a good one. 12?
The Day the Earth Stood Still.
Oh, scary. 13th? What was the 13th?
Point Break. And then we got back-to-back Bill and Ted.
Now, let's just play with it. Point Break is that low.
Yeah, that's fucked up.
How much would that have made adjusted for inflation now?
Only a lousy 88 million.
Wow, I would have thought it was bigger.
So this is just box office?
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe it was culty.
Oh, yeah. It doesn't make you any money. It doesn't make you any money after the...
Unadjusted, it's 43 million.
Okay, I don't unadjust things.
That's not the game.
Yeah.
Put it in terms I can understand.
Yeah, let's play the unadjusted for inflation game.
Benson turns it down. Sorry. It's just something we can't work with. Can't do it. He's coming back to town soon, right?
Yeah, October.
I was with him here once. We were watching somebody play, and then High Times had a show at the time, and they saw him and just fucking ran at him. Everybody from High Times was just jumping on him like he was Santa Claus. They're just giving him gummy bears, and he's like, "Hey, do you want those?" I'm like, "I'll take a couple for Chris." You know? But it was just so funny to see how happy they were to see him.
How much weed does it take to get him high now?
I don't know, because it doesn't stop. There's no ground zero anymore. It's just around the clock. And he can get paid doing it.
Yeah.
You know, it's amazing. All right, Chris, one more time, then we're going to wrap this up.
Ahmed Barucha's been in studio. You can see him at the Eugene Merman Comedy Festival at Union Hall in Brooklyn, New York, Saturday, September 17th. Go to ticketfly.com for tickets. Ahmed's Comedy Central half-hour special premieres Friday, October 14th at midnight on Comedy Central, and that same day his album, Almond Badoody, comes out on iTunes, and you'll see him on Dream Corp on Adult Swim in the fall.
Mm-hmm. I'll be watching, my friend. Good to see you. See you next time coming through.
Yeah.
Right back. Hey, that was fun, huh? Hanging out with him.
That was great. Ahmed is awesome.
I love him. He's crashing on Tommy Pope's couch. It's crazy the amount of fucking funny people that we know now.
I know.
Differently funny.
All bunking with each other.
Yeah.
I assume.
Wait a minute. What do you got there? You got pizza? Yeah. Come on in, Dan.
Oh, Jesus, Dan.
What's this all about?
What is this?
Where's it from?
Dan?
We had some leftovers for our meeting, so they said bring it down to the studio.
Who said?
The big man, Don.
Wow.
Yay. But, yeah, Jack, he got us pizza for the meeting, the comedy department meeting, so it was really nice. That's why you guys might want some.
I'm always wondering what his dad did for the CIA. What kind of pizza? Where'd it come from?
The place is called, preface this by saying they had like a pastrami slice.
You just said preface this.
Preface. Is it preface?
Yes, it's preface, but no one would say that.
They have a pastrami slice that was from like pastrami from Katz's, but those were all taken. But these were good. It's a Speedy Romeo. It's like they're kind of smaller slices. It's like really good.
Brooklyn. Great.
I'm looking at it right now. That does not look like a pizza to me. There's too much stuff on it. What's all on here?
It's like a fancy pizza.
So I'm no chef. I'm no, I'm not a culinary master, but
there's a peach on there.
I swear to God,
pepper.
It's pepper. It's an orange pepper.
It's an orange and red pepper.
I think it's a peach, Ross.
And on the side, they even give you like a little thing of like hot peppers to put on your slice.
Oh.
Isn't that fun?
First of all, you must be getting a kickback here because you're selling this instead of handing. Here, just give me a slice. I'm not an animal.
I brought plates. I
you
brought
did it all.
napkins.
You did really nice job.
But you know what I was saying? I mean, I don't like it with water. I like a nice, soda. I mean,
I think it nights go.
Can run out.
I'm a Coke guy. Hey, did you see that Chris Brown sat down during the national anthem during a charity basketball game?
No, I didn't see that.
Now, Chris, I want you to look at this and see if you consider this. I'm sure it might be a fine taste, but there's no sauce on there. There's no regular kind of cheese.
It's not a regular slice.
Or maybe an orange slice.
I feel like I like a fancy pie, but it's a different craving than
it should be called something different than pizza. You know what I mean? It should be called an appetizer. Oh, man, all your shit just fell off, Chris. I watched it take place.
Fine. Good. I don't want any of those oranges.
There's no peaches on your slice. He is so unfamiliar with vegetables.
He is.
I mean, I've never seen that.
Well, I don't know if you remember this. One time we were out, and I'm going to guess we must have been in either Wyoming or one of the Dakotas when you were a kid. So we go into this restaurant, and on the wall, there was a sign, and because it was like kind of a steak place, it said, absolutely no vegetables.
What?
Like they would be mad if you asked about vegetables there.
I actually thought of that place very recently because of that scene in Hell or High Water.
Oh, yeah.
There's a very funny diner scene, and it's kind of similar to the no vegetables.
Well, my friend Mike, who is the inventor of the Ron Bennington cupcake, he was just out in Montana, and there was a place that just had good soup written there. And he goes, what kind of soup do you have? And they go, just get out. You don't want to eat here.
What?
We've had the same soup for 66 years. Now you want to ask what's in it? And he got mad. And I'm like, when he was telling me about it, I'm like, well, that's part of the fun. You get the mean person. But, I mean, you're basically in a tourist town. Right? So not everyone's going to know what the good soup is.
Sounds eerily like the plot of a soup-themed Seinfeld episode.
Oh, my God, Seinfeld coming up again. We were bringing this up today.
Love that
Dan,
show.
you would enjoy this.
Uh-huh.
Well, you said you weren't going to text him.
He texted me, so I swear to God.
I know.
Our guest is running a little late. He does the best Trump in the world.
Oh.
But everyone always brings, I said this, Seinfeld and Friends plays the same amount of times. People are always bringing up Seinfeld episodes, Seinfeld's trivia. No one does it for Friends. I think there's an opening there if you want to go for it on Laughs USA.
Are you? So, I don't think Friends holds up as well.
I don't know if it ever held up.
Yeah, I didn't like it when I was a kid.
But do you still think that Seinfeld holds up?
I weirdly do. Even the episodes that the whole plot could have been solved with a cell phone. Like, I think that I don't know, it's still pretty feels pretty real. I don't know.
You know what holds up for me? Elaine. I think Elaine is amazing.
Really?
She's the funniest person
I would call it the Elaine show. I think that she's that centered. I don't know if George still works for me. Kramer,
I would say Jerry's the least fun part about the show when you watch it now.
But it's named after him. Would you say that to him?
You can't call the show like Costanza. It's got to be
Costanza. But would you say if he was in, what's the name of your channel for everybody?
Laugh USA.
Laugh USA, and you have a lot of laughs, but only Americans.
That's right.
Will not play like a French person.
God! It's an American.
There's nobody from England.
No. We're a patriotic channel. Scotland. No. Do you know who's any Scottish comics? I can't think of it.
Oh, come on.
There's a Scottish comic who's one of the funniest comedians.
Oh, Craig Ferguson. Right?
No, I wasn't even thinking Craig Ferguson, but that helps.
Yeah.
Keep going. Name the Scottish play or the Scottish comic.
The Scottish play?
Oh my God! You know nothing of theater?
I know a little of theater, but
you know the Scottish play.
We don't say the name of the
We can't say the
Scottish play
name
here.
because I think this is theater of the mind,
I
so
do too.
it counts.
I think it's Theater of the Mayans.
I'm going to have to guess Fiddler on the Roof.
No, forget that. At least come up with a comedian. You're the program director of a comedy station.
So Scottish comedian, can you give me any hint at all?
Jesus, dude.
Maybe the funniest person who's ever lived.
Is that a good hint?
I don't know.
Oh my
Billy Connolly.
Oh.
How do you not know that man?
Why are you such a bad person?
Slipped my mind.
You're a bad person.
I am a good person.
A bad person?
Yeah, he's a bad person. Dan, Cool Disco Dan, is a piece of garbage for not knowing Billy Connolly.
Wow.
That escalated quick.
Yeah.
I think that's so mean what you just said.
I don't
really
consider it accurate.
I regret bringing you pizza, Chris.
This isn't pizza. It's something else.
Well, I regret bringing you.
I'm not going to lie. I like it. I think it's really good.
I like the saltiness.
It was better hot, but you know.
Oh, you had to wait and see who didn't eat before you.
Oh yeah.
That was nice though.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought it's 2 p.m. It's nice.
Mm-hmm. We like to snack. We're part of comedy.
Are you going to that show tonight? The comedy show?
Yeah, I am. I'm going to Caroline's to see Hindsight. What are you doing?
What?
But he wrote it up.
No, he was trying to be helpful, but I was fine. I was just searching.
He started nodding?
And he started going like this. Caroline's Hindsight. It was very sweet.
You're on
but
today,
it was
dude.
so.
Oh yeah, I'm fucking all over it.
I don't want to say it was mean. You know, it's a good thing to do. He was trying to help me.
Yeah.
But watching him overpronounce Hindsight.
Why not just say it though?
I didn't want to interrupt you. I was trying to be helpful.
It's Hindsight, and that's Dan Perlman and Billy Princell. And who's actually on the show
Jay
tonight?
is going to be on this show. Joe Maki.
Joe Maki, as he's now known.
Sean Donnelly, Nick Vatterott, and Hadia Robinson.
You're reading this.
Yeah.
You didn't know that. You wouldn't have known that.
I didn't know that. I didn't remember it.
You use that computer to cheat.
Cheat to win. That's your motto.
W's a W.
A W is not a W.
He loves to steal other people's catchphrases. That's
mine.
hard like Johnny's.
Nope, that's mine. I gave that to Johnny.
Hey, tonight's a vote out. Who's going home, Vito?
I'm going to say Victor.
You know that they've shut down the stuff you can't watch?
Feeds are dead.
Yeah.
Because they don't want anybody to know.
Because they're doing it at 4:00 today.
Who would you send, Victor or Frank?
You got to send.
Hey, what's up, dude? Good to see you again.
How are you, man? Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Anthony Atamanuik's coming in studio. You can see Anthony when he does Trump Dump, one last rally at the New York Comedy Festival on Thursday, November 3rd at 7:30 p.m. Go to nycomedyfestival.com for tickets and more information. You can also download the album Trump vs. Bernie, live from Brooklyn, available on iTunes. And on Twitter, it's at Tony Atamanuik.
Oh, I got it. Yeah, it is good, right?
Congratulations, dude.
Yeah, thanks, man.
How does it feel that part of this is over? Is it bittersweet or just sweet to get rid of him?
Well, I'm still, I mean, it's bittersweet and relief. I think I think that the timing of it was perfect. We finished it just for laughs.
Yeah.
And I think that was the last reasonable time you could have Bernie Sanders as a legitimate candidate.
Yeah.
So I think for even like just the legitimacy of us doing it, it worked. And if we had gone any further, I think it would have been sad.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? And I did a solo show in D.C. and it was fun, but it was like one hand clapping without James, you know? I was like, I realized that no one wants an hour and a half of just the Trump without the optimistic Bernie stuff.
Well, Vito and I actually saw the last show in Montreal.
Yeah,
very nice.
And it was fantastic, and we were so glad to.
Oh, you mean with
Kindler was the last.
Kindler, our moderator, right?
Yeah.
I legitimately yelled at Kindler.
Yeah, you were not pleased with him.
I love Andy Kindler. I mean, it was the first. I love his comedy. It was the first time I ever met him. And my father kept calling him Herb Kindle. And I was like, Dad, that's not his name. My father, I think, is a slight sort of, my father's a musician. And he was like a rough guy, like a greaser back in the day. So I think he was actually kind of being a bully. I only realized that later.
Right.
That my father was purposely being a jerk. But there was a point in the show where we were just trying to get out, and, Andy was doing his thing, and I turned to him and I went, I said, this is like trying to have sex with a girl in your bedroom, and every 30 seconds your mother is knocking on the fucking door and walking in. Like, you gotta let
it breathe.
He was chiming in quite a bit.
But he did a great job. Every moderator was like a snowflake. They were each their own thing.
Because they don't know what, they don't have an experience with this thing.
No, it's amazing. No, I mean, when you think about it odds-wise, the fact that we had, 40 different moderators, and each one not only did the job, but got debriefed on the job 30 minutes before the show, and then nailed it. Mark Hamill was like, a dream come true. That was really great. And of course, on the album, Howard Feynman.
Oh, yeah.
The esteemed Howard Feynman.
So, when you're up there at Montreal, you guys were the buzz of the festival, and there was amazing shows all around you. But you were the hot ticket. That had to be extra cool, right?
It is cool. I mean, it's funny. I don't think about those things.
Yeah.
And I know people say that, but I have so little stardom or success that I can legitimately say that, I don't think about it. I just think it's like a job, and all that accolade, like the top 10 thing where we had to go to the festival. I still am I'm a kid from Chelsea, Massachusetts. So I was like, free food, free champagne, and all I have to do is stand and hold the placard. And, you know what I mean? That's how I think.
Well, we were at all those parties and people were talking about you guys, which is something you don't get to see. Is people talking about you when you're not there. But the concept of the show was so brilliant. But then that you guys turned that into something else. And we were talking about it from a theater standpoint.
Oh yeah,
it made sense.
It was really fantastic. I mean, it certainly has that feeling of like a night of really great theater. That's what it feels like.
Yeah. It was a theatrical production.
Yeah.
I mean, I think in the conception of the show, I had been doing these types of things for years in New York. I mean, I've been doing the Tony Show at UCB for 5 years. I started doing that with John Gemberling. And our thing from the get-go was doing something that's like immersive in a theatrical experience, but is not saccharine.
Right.
And in no way has any sort of wink or nod that it should just be almost like, what an advancing of maybe Andy Kaufman's or idea of what you could do without it being maybe as aggressive.
Yeah, but it's always the thinnest line that you can walk. You know what I mean? That's always the toughest thing. Is can something be immersive without being straight Rocky Horror at the end of it? You know, like you don't want to take it that far either.
I had seen clips before going to the show, so I knew that your impressions were fantastic. I knew it was going to be a funny show, but I could not believe how quickly you just buy that Trump is in the room with you. Yeah. And you know what I mean? Like at first it's like, oh, this is a fantastic impression, until it just becomes Trump. Like, why is Trump saying these ridiculous things? And it is jam-packed with hilarious joke. I mean, like, joke after joke was like the funniest thing. Jokes that from that night I still think about. You have one that about the way Trump does his vocal warm up that I disturbingly think about it. I believe you said so.
I eat out at Ivanka.
Yeah, he eats out his daughter. That's how he does his vocal warm up every time.
That's my
time.
Killed me. I mean, and a lot of those were built some of those were built off the show I did, but James and I truly, we built a plane in the middle of the air. I mean, we did the show and sort of like the old days of Homer, we sort of built this hour and a half long form poem. Like we never wrote it. I know James had notes and I had like bullet points, and I would sit in the hotel room and sort of watch the news and then sort of write on a napkin. But then the thing is if I ever have paper in front of me that has any real information on it, it throws me off. So I have to have that. All the paper I have except for the poem is all fake. It's just garbage. And then everything I keep ordered in my mind, or modular in my mind, But it's the menace. I mean, listen, it's hard you analyze your own thing. It sounds pretentious, but the thing about the Trump impression that I gathered over the course of doing it is it's the menacing quality inside that you're bringing to the room, which is probably more vulnerable because I'm bringing my menacing side. It's not like I can bring Trump's personality into the room because I don't have his person, or in a sense, I'm not him. So I had to be okay with all the parts of me that are like him, and letting them go forward. You go in front of the audience and with the understanding that some people might be like, well, that means that guy's that way. And in some ways I am that way. In some ways I am like that.
Do you think it made you more sympathetic to him in any way?
I would use the word empathetic, not sympathetic. And the reason why is because, sympathy implies endorsement.
Right.
And empathy doesn't. Empathy is, probably the closest thing you could articulate to like what people talk about, like love or universal love, is to have empathy for someone. Because empathy means I just examine you and then go, there for the grace of God, go I, but I'm not endorsing your behavior. And I think that, it's funny. I was listening to something the other day and I was hearing some reaction to 9/11. I was like listening to a bunch of 9/11 stuff. And, people were like, we should bomb them and go in there and drop a nuke and, natural stuff that even I'm probably sure I said on 2001, where you're just so angry and you viscerally want something done. And you say horrible things and think horrible thoughts, or not even just justifiable thoughts in the moment. I think the difference is that we don't have that person in the White House making those decisions. Right. And I think that there's something weirdly both refreshing and frightening about him. And that's why, and he's funny. I mean, he was funny just the other day in a press conference, and it's upsetting. Yeah. I find myself watching him and going, oh, thank God, that was funny.
Yeah,
that was good.
It's kind of jock humor that he has, but I saw this doc that CNN did on him. And they went back and found people that knew him in high school. And they're like, yeah, that's him. That's the way he was in high school. This wasn't some kind of thing that he built this character. He was a guy who decided, my dad wants me to win. I'm going to win. And I'm going to say I'm winning until I'm winning, and I'm winning.
Yeah.
And he's never changed. And he's 70. And he has the aggression of a young man. Yeah. The aggression of a young man.
Yeah. And that's probably actually why he actually is in good health.
Yeah, right.
I really think that the other thing about him, and you have to be wary of someone like that, is that someone who hasn't changed one iota from high school is frightening.
Yeah, sure. Because it's the Jungian archetypes that you're supposed to go through to mature.
Exactly.
You're supposed to go from warrior to medicine man to, wisdom.
To reconcile with your shadow.
Right.
And he is not reconciled with his shadow because his shadow's on display. He doesn't even know it.
His shadow becomes our shadow. We're like, oh, we're the ones who see our shadow.
Yes.
We're like, yeah, man, it would be good not to give a shit. He did that thing the other day where he goes, if the Iranians come up next to our boats and,
blow them out of the sky.
We'll blow them out of the water if they give us the finger. And you're like, wow, I guess we could. I mean, we have the weapons,
Yeah.
No one ever says it, Well, you said your dad was a greaser and he was a rock and roller. What era are we talking? What scene was he part of?
My father was part of the Toronto music scene in the 60s and 50s. And he played with a guy named Ronnie Hawkins.
Oh, the great Ronnie Hawkins,
So my dad played with Ronnie Hawkins for years.
Yeah.
And then he moved to a band called C-Train, which was...
Holy shit.
Yeah.
The name of...
Marblehead Messenger.
Yeah, wow.
13 Questions.
Yeah, this is a great, great band.
Yeah, it's of course Peter Rowan.
Yeah.
And my father still plays with Peter to this day. And then he had me, and then went and worked at a paint shop for my grandfather, and I think had probably a stewing resentment for 5 years. Then my parents divorced, and my father restarted his career in the mid '80s and was playing with Emmylou. He played the Live at the Ryman album.
It's amazing.
Emmylou Harrison live Nash Ramblers with Sammy Bush and all those guys, and then he went on to play with Alison Krauss. He did Shania Twain, and he played.
That's amazing. Well, Ronnie Hawkins, who we started with, from The Last Waltz, the band was the backup bands. They were the Hawks at one time with Ronnie Hawkins.
Yes.
So that's an amazing scene.
Yeah.
They grew up.
Oh, yeah. My dad was part of the folk scene, and my mother was doing the touring show of Hair at the time in 1970. That's how they met.
Yeah.
And he was in San Fran before they moved to Boston to do, so they were part of that hippie folk world, and my dad still my father's 72, I think, and still plays, and he was touring with me. My dad was with me for all the shows in JFL. I had him tour manage me.
That's so cool, though.
Yeah.
Particularly from having that Canada background, which was really kind of a rough and tumble scene for a long time. That kind of rock and roll was being played at real hard-edged dudes that were living up there.
Oh, yeah. My father, I see pictures of my dad when he's younger, and I'm like, what? He's got, greased, and he tells stories sometimes. I'm like, oh, you really were... I wasn't raised around him a lot when I was a kid, and so, growing up, didn't hear a lot of stories. Yeah. So, when my parents divorced when I was 6, so... hearing these stories later, I'm like, oh, you were kind of like a punk kid. He I think he left home at 16 or 17, but so did my mom. My mom moved to New York at 17 to do Broadway, so.
Yeah, that used to be a thing that people would do, where they'd be like, well, I'm going to find my adventure, find my place in the world, not take 8-10 years
to figure it out
and say, is this what I want? And you didn't figure it out with your parents. You know what I mean? It was the hard knocks.
But that's the cautiousness of corporate culture, isn't it?
Right.
That is a generation of people who are, especially this youngest generation, that has no, I said this a bunch during the last few runs of the tour. I would say, God, this is the first generation I've ever encountered that's younger than me that is more uptight and less into civil disobedience and sort of bucking the system. They're truly little drones.
Well, here's what happened to them. This is, at one time the schools were very liberal, and you would go there and they were like, hey, this war is bad and commercials are bad. But Vito, how much did you come out of school owing? How much did you owe?
Over $100,000.
All right. So he has no option but for the corporate thing to work out. There's no option for him.
But that's an enslavement.
That's an enslavement.
That is a targeted enslavement.
Yeah.
Because they create and it's not a conspiracy to me. It is a clear advancement of corporate or feudal culture over the nation state. They found a way. It only took them It took them 150 years from a revolution that was also a debtor's revolution. Mm-hmm. People talk about Jefferson as if he was some penny pincher. This was a guy who owed more money than any other founding father to that furniture company that they were all buying furniture and stuff from. Yeah. The whole reason they had the revolutions, they didn't want to pay their bills.
Right.
So we have a culture of indebtitude, and then we bring in this sort of you're right, this dismantling in the 80s and the 90s of any safety net, so that we put you in this position where you're right, where you come into the world super serious about having to pay. Yeah. So I don't owe any money.
Yeah.
I don't owe any money. That's insane. It is such an insane prospect that you are brought into adult life owing money. I could barely pay my Con Ed bill.
Right.
Yeah. I know very few young people who aren't in a massive amount of debt. I know very few people who are, younger than I am, or even my age, who aren't in that kind of debt and kind of came into adulthood with debt and an environment where they couldn't get jobs and the things that
it makes it very difficult. So now they're like, I'll work for even less than what anybody else will pay for. Like, you go to those corporations, can I be an intern? Can I work for free? Can I just hang around you guys? Can I be your assistant? You know what I mean? Like, stuff that my generation wouldn't have dreamt of doing.
I mean, and not to just be like a full defender of it, but I think that there ends up being this built up resentment, for example, with something like the internship program, which became so popular, and then people who are older and work at that same company are like, these kids, they're so lazy. Well, they're making no money. You know what I mean? Like, you're getting out of them.
But they shouldn't even be in the corporations at that age. They should be out riding a motorcycle, trying to start a band.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I didn't have any dreams of my future when I was 17, 18 years old. I was on the road with a carnival. I just wanted to be out and doing shit.
Yeah.
I had a job where I was selling cable to people, and there was a minimum. Like, once you hit a certain thing, you get 300, and then you keep working, you could go up. As soon as I hit the minimum, I'm like, done for this week.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I didn't want to fucking hang around, try to make extra money. Good shit to do. Drinking, meeting girls, fucking around.
Yeah. That's what I understand is that I did the minimum. I did what I wanted to do, and I collected quarters and cashed them in sometimes. And some weeks I just ate at a friend's house, and then I'd have moments where you were flush. You'd make something, you were flush for 2 or 3 months, and you would go, well, I'll be a little responsible and pay 2 of the 3 bills. I'll gamble another 200 here, and then I'll buy something I don't need. And I think that it's just this idea that's been pounded into, and listen, it's a generalization. Of course, there's tons of kids who work hard. I teach improv at UCB. You see so many young kids who work hard, but at the same time, I hear kids who will say to me, well, I can't make the show because I have this and this. And I'm like, guys, I worked 70 hours a week at a Times Square restaurant and did 2 shows and took class. Like, there is no... If you want to do something, you do it. If you don't want to do it, don't tell me why you can't. Just don't do it. But we come up. I think the problem is we've created such a sort of private version of a nanny state, and I don't mean that in like a financial way, because I think that we don't actually have a good state in terms of economic safety net. But I think what we create is a psychological nanny state where I think that younger people see an authority structure that doesn't exist, and they imply and impose that authority structure where there is none. And so they limit themselves before they even have butted up against getting yelled at. I mean, I've seen someone hold someone's face over a fryolator. I have been at jobs where there were full-blown fist fights. I've had a gun held to my head by a New York cop as a prank. Like the idea is that, to me, is like, you've got to go through getting dirt on you. You've got to get dirt on you. There's no way you can go through this life and have any understanding of the world if you don't have dirt.
Yeah.
And that's what frightens me, is we're sanitizing everything.
Yeah, but so much of that is on the generation that precedes, who teaches that kind of behavior, right? Like, for example,
but that's what you're supposed to rebel against. Every fucking great art thing rebelled against the generation before it.
But like, let's say if you look at the previous generation, like, let's say if you're talking about the 60s, do you feel like that rebellion lasted? Was there a lasting sense of the people who you feel were rebellious?
No,
and
but
continued to live their life that way?
But they're reflection through the entire society of what happened there. It changed. I mean, the fact that there's stuff like yoga and granola and fucking weed and all that, so it's all out there. Those people grow up and they start having kids and start being responsible. No one says it's supposed to go on forever, but that flash of youth, I think everybody's supposed, that's Hemingway in the 20s.
Well, maybe that's what that rebellion is about, was maybe it's a rebellion against a generation who really romanticized staying young forever. Maybe that's what it came out of. That they were so romantic and patted themselves on the back for that kind of stuff. And then maybe you can't go farther. You know what I mean? You can't one up somebody who had already done it. So maybe that's where that whole...
I think the thing is they're already stuck in the system before they had a chance.
Yeah.
There's no way that Vito can have the system fail.
Yeah.
He's got to hope that he moves his way up the corporate ladder, because owing $100,000 before you have the home to say, well, this is what I'm working for. I mean, he doesn't even have that.
Yeah.
Can't move out. I just have to stay at home and just keep putting my money away and giving it to...
But you could do what Chris did and just trash your... You don't have credit because of what you've done?
Oh, yeah. I've never paid a student loan at all. I just ignore it.
You change cell phones.
Oh, yeah, all the time, yeah. But they just keep finding the number, but I keep ignoring it. So joke's on them.
I had a great moment with Con Edison recently. So in 2003, we moved out of an apartment, and the bill was under my name, but some of my roommates didn't pay, and I got upset and said, I'm not paying it. So it was like $2,100. And I waited the 7 years, and I got a letter from Con Ed. 2 years, it was like way past the 7 years. I got a letter from Con Edison recently that said, this account has officially been closed. We no longer can collect on this debt, but we would appreciate you volunteering to pay. And I was like, I did it. I beat the money. I beat the system. No, I had no credit, no bank account for like 3 years. And I mean, listen, that's the thing is, it's not like it's I guess it's that idea. It's not about like this generation's worse because it's that the crunch has happened where the point of exploration has changed. It's just, it has changed. And I think that you actually see a more accountable, almost more responsible, more active generation, but at the cost, to me, at the cost of sort of seeing what boundaries they can push, or observing boundaries being pushed and not immediately taking it on as like, how can I be upset by this? That seems to be the number one sort of thesis in a lot of the young audiences I saw was, how can I get upset by this? I cleaned my wife's office today. Okay. Because it was a real mess and she has dust allergies. So I clean the whole office and I finish and I go in and she looks around and she goes, well, where's this nozzle to this? I said, I have no idea. I said, it's not my room. And she said, well, you lost that nozzle. And to me, that sums up the generation, which is all this stuff could happen, but there's the one thing that upsets. And so we spend more time negotiating, which are valid things, cis or trans or this label or that label. And they are valid things because they affect people's feelings and they affect how people are in the world. And at the same time, as valid as it is to understand how people want to be or be appreciated or approached, whatever the terminology or verbiage is, at the same time, you're really missing, I feel like this is part of this corporate culture conspiracy, is to stay in the ineffable, to stay in the label, and to stay in the debate of who what said, because they know that that means you're never getting to the real root. And the root is power, control, and the limitation on expression. That Facebook thing is amazing. That Vietnam picture, and they banned that Vietnam picture for the little naked girl running, and they banned it for 2 weeks. And they said because it went against their standards, guidelines. And we need to do so. We need to have a global constitutional convention. Like, we need to have something to write the direction we're going in, because we are, the narrowing of what the public expression space is getting to the point where it's an unworthy space.
Yeah.
Right? So if you have such large metastasizing corporate culture that has things that limit people's expression because of their bylaws, that is now, and if private interests supersede public expression in the way that we run the country now, that is going to get worse and worse until it's going to be something that is considered true, that you cannot say certain things. You cannot express.
That's the amazing thing about the picture of the napalm girl, which my generation grew up with. And that picture, a picture, helped stop a war, because that was in the newspaper and people weren't thinking, oh, there's a little vagina. They were thinking, there's napalm sticking to a little girl. And the reason why she's naked is her clothes are burned off. And even though I supported my country my whole life, this is wrong. And that wasn't hippies saying that. That was housewives and guys in hard hats. So one picture, do we live in a society now where one picture could change, where we could have a Kent State and somebody is screaming over a body? No, we go through it constantly. Yeah. We've forgotten Orlando already. We've forgotten the cops being shot. In
the
Dallas.
Aleppo boy, the Aleppo kid, the kid who was in the back of that ambulance.
That was, that moment I thought, could this be a turning point? And even late last summer, I think it was, maybe about a year ago, it was the Syrian boy, the refugee child, face down in the sand, had washed up. And I remember seeing that and my heart breaking and thinking, is this going to be that type of iconic image? It is for a day or two, and then
there's too many images.
There's just too much.
Right.
There's you have access to too much.
There's too much, and there's too many. We're in the Wild West right now. Like, we really are. Like, the Hearsts have only come in a little bit, and we're in the Wild West of information, how it's disseminated, and also missing the greater point. Yeah. It's like, it is amazing to me that in that show, when I would refer to, bombing, as Trump, at some point I used to say something about, we're frying the Syrians or something. I would talk about the Syrians in some way, and people would groan. And that's what always blew my mind. If you brought up that the reason the nation is the wealthiest in the world and controls 90% of the waterways and has a military 20 times larger than any other country in the world, and that was built on the backs of blacks that we still treat like fucking garbage to this day, then and in the audience, and the mostly white audience goes, oh, you're like, really? That's where we're at? Yeah. Where we're at is that you don't want to be reminded of it. Yeah. And that, so for all of that sort of talk and posturing, you have people, I was there at Occupy when you had the people raising their iPhones up when Steve Jobs died. Who listen, I have an iPhone, but I'm aware that of the number of Chinese suicides that went into making it. So and I accept the hypocrisy, but you have a generation that both wants to be hypocritical, not acknowledge their hypocrisy, and at the same time, they want to fall in love with the movement. See, they want to have the movement from the 60s. Actually, to go back to this idea, they want the movement. They want the big gathering, but they don't want all that comes with it. Because as my mom said, in the early, mid 60s with the yippies, when it was a movement, when these people were getting their heads cracked in Harvard Square, okay? And then the hippie movement superseded the yippie movement, which was a lot more upper middle class white kids who liked music.
Partying.
And it became a drug culture intersection with a philosophical movement. And then that sort of evolved in through the 70s into sort of art punk, art rock, and all the things that sort of brought it back around in the early 80s, when you then saw that evaporate and we're talking about media narratives. Like, what is the media narrative? What is being put out reflects what we also fear and think is going to happen, right? So the 90s was mostly terrorists, true lies, right? Blowing up buildings, hitting buildings, all a response from the 93 bombing, probably, the Trade Center. And what is the number one thing that young people who are 14, 15, 16 see today? Our movie series about young, hot teenagers in post-apocalyptic environments trying to survive and realizing that they're controlled by some unseen force. So that's what we're telling ourselves. Look at the mass projection of our subconscious onto the screen. That's the narrative we're prepping our children for now, right? Which is a dystopia We are metering out probably whatever will be the sort of soft dystopia of the next 40 or 50 years.
Yeah.
I don't see where the reverse happens, because, even with Hillary Clinton, with this, the passing out of the car, we live in an era where nobody is being straightforward about what's going on. Okay. By the way, if I was a conspiracy theorist, which I am, but only for fun, and everyone said a double came out, right? That was the big
body
one.
double.
If I were the conspiracy theorist, I would have said, who was the double that got into the car?
Right.
Because if you watch the video, you never see her face.
Yeah.
You just see this body with this loose wig. It doesn't look like her hair. Doesn't look like her hair.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know what you gain, but to me, that video is far more fake looking. But especially because someone caught it on their cell phone. I've never seen a cell phone camera that looks like it's on sticks and zooms in so perfectly like a multi-lens camera. I love conspiracy.
Yeah, you feel like that becomes part of maybe we're lining it up for the next thing for her to come back strong or, beat it. But that is, what was the movie in the 90s that was actually before the Clinton thing? David Mamet
Wag the Dog?
Wag the Dog.
Yeah.
And it was, you would have never believed that was done before that.
It sounds so. By the way, I thought you were going to make a Dave reference. I was really excited.
No.
I was like, I'll talk some Dave right now. Is this a Dave situation?
But by the way, Anthony has totally fucked me up on these dystopian movies because I'm watching on TV. I'm like, another one of these teens trying to figure out why they're being controlled, and now I'm fucking.
Think about
now my eyes are open. I don't like it. I don't like that you came in here and woke me up.
You're woke as shit now.
Anthony Atamanuik in studio. You can see him perform Trump Dump, One Last Rally at the New York Comedy Festival on Thursday, November 3rd at 7:30 p.m. Go to nycomedyfestival.com for tickets and more information. You can also download the album Trump vs. Bernie live from Brooklyn, available on iTunes. And on Twitter, it's at Tony Atamanuik.
Truly, truly brilliant theater that these guys pull. They never should have been able to pull it off, let alone to be able to get that many dates out of it and have it be so entertaining. And the fact that the show was constantly changing. I think very few people will know what a strange ride that you guys were on.
It was a coup.
Yeah.
I say to friends of mine who, I worked with for years at UCB, I'll go, I can't believe I got away with doing a basement bit show for a 45 city tour. I can't believe it because it is something astonishing. And also to me, see, this is the thing is I'm a hypocrite like everybody. So like half of the things I'm saying already, the contradictory parts come in of like how many young people I know who I respect deeply, who are intelligent and active and engaged, and how many great audiences we had, and how it is often the one or two people who stick out, who color the whole process for the rest of it. Right. But the thing that fascinated me was people are hungry for that. That's what it showed me.
Right.
What it showed me was that people are tired of being fed sort of bro-ish comedy, and also sort of like the snake eating its own tail comedy. Like, I don't know how much more parody. Satire is different from parody, right? Mm-hmm. I don't know how much parody and how much more self-cultural reference we can keep making as sort of what we make of comedy. And at the same time, we've repurposed and repackaged the Saccharin 3 camera into the single cam and lied and said it's something new and great art. But it's just a sitcom. It's just a sitcom that's prostituting some sort of minority or some sort of new wave of cultural, awakeness into a money-making venture to write a funny show. And it doesn't mean that people are all I don't mean to be that cynical, but the idea that we think we're in the era of the most groundbreaking television sort of surprises me. Yeah. I think we're in the era of the most mass-produced, money-making ventures with a nod to diversity, enough to get it through the system. Right. So you'll sit in a room and it's like, well, can we get an Indian girl in here? And can we get this? And you're like, that, and that is fantastic if it has any value. If you're just throwing someone in there just to have that person show up on the screen, that doesn't do any value or cultural, it doesn't serve any purpose, you know? That's why I actually think The Night Of was a very good, right? Is that The Night Of? I thought Night Of was a really great example of that because it had a little nod to this. Well, it had a big nod to the level of Pakistani, Indian, Bangladeshi culture in New York that is ignored. My wife is half Pakistani. And so I thought it was actually a great roadmap to a whole section of New York that is often just completely overlooked unless you're in a cab. Right. Or in Jackson Heights to go, to the Jackson Diner.
But it is true. Like you're like, oh yeah, there is. I'm in this store, so there's that culture. Yeah, and I know, but you don't get immersed into it enough to know what are the struggles of being in that community.
Particularly when you look at what their home life is like, the way families function, and I think that's kind of one of the most interesting things. Like, you can debate maybe what Trump says, right? Like, you could say, like, these people agree and these people disagree. But when he's talking about immigrants or he's talking about Mexican Americans, like what that looks like, I don't think most people know. Just family people, like just people. I think that a lot of times both sides have this sort of archetype that is not necessarily true. I think that how much we're connected by, if you're talking about middle class family life, you will recognize it. When
you watch a foreign movie, you watch an Iranian movie, and you're like, at first you're like, oh, this is so odd. In 5 minutes, and you're like, yeah, this is my uncle. Right. Like it's literally the same thing. People are people.
It takes nothing to, and I think probably like family and food and maybe even to a certain extent, basic religion, is probably more of a thread than people would ever like to think that it is.
You look at universal archetypes. One, universal unconscious archetypes of people. Two, if you look at the Fertile Crescent, the truth is that our major monotheistic religions, which were influenced by excursions into India and China prior to even the advent of Christianity, Judaism, which was a nomadic religion, but was, there's far more history to prove that the Jews were probably in the land of Canaan than they ever were in Egypt. And that the slave exodus actually was a retelling actually of a slave revolt within the area that's already Jerusalem today. You always have history versus mythology, history versus story. And the truth, if we look back, my great-grandmother, who was Italian, covered herself. She covered her head. She walked around covered. Just like a Muslim woman does today. Yeah.
Particularly a widow, right? That was the thing. I remember that from when I was a kid that you would say, and you're like, oh, her husband died. And you're like, when? Oh, in World War II. What? She's not ready to get out there and start dating?
Nope. Still in black, still covering her hair.
Because that also kind of worked for her. Like, that was a place in the society itself, right? That was a thing to be. It was like, oh, well, we can't bother her with that. She's in mourning. You know what I mean? Yeah. We'll do the dishes. You're in mourning still.
Yeah, she's underneath the veil, like, smiling. And like, sure. She's like Jean-Benet Ramsey's mother, peeking through her hands, checking with her eyes. Have you seen it? I've been watching that stuff. That's great. Every time Jean-Benet comes back, I'm thrilled.
Well, when Gail was little, and I shouldn't even bring this up, but we were out in Colorado then, and we went under the tape, and I was just like a fucking terrible person, but I had pictures of her like playing in the sandbox and shit, and it was like we acted like we were looking for clues.
Yeah,
I mean, we
were like pretending like looking in the window, and then like there's a picture of me holding something, and you being like, "Is this a clue?"
And what's really funny is her mom and her brother wanted nothing to do.
My younger brother was like, "This is a bad idea. You should not be doing this."
Yeah.
And we're like, this is hilarious.
We were working this gimmick and just, being on vacation. And remember that when that fucking car come by, that lady was just horrified. You would see us, and she was horrified.
Yeah.
We thought it was like very funny at the time.
It's like me on JonBenet Ramsey slaying, like, oh, Jesus Christ.
Man,
it's really bad.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's an amazing. I can't believe you. So you're one of the people who disturbed the crime scene.
Yeah, that was disturbed, but I felt like we were going to found something. Like I found a cigarette butt, but it was mine. But I'm just saying, it could have been the breakthrough. Dude, thanks so much for stopping by, man.
Thanks for having me.
So great to have
Anytime,
you.
seriously.
This
it's just
is
so
my
great.
favorite conversation I have in the week.
Good.
Thank you.
I'm glad to hear it.
Anthony Atamanuik's been in studio. You can see Anthony perform Trump Dump, one last rally at the New York Comedy Festival, Thursday, November 3rd at 7:30 p.m. Go to nycomedyfestival.com for tickets and more information. And you can download the album Trump vs. Bernie, live from Brooklyn, available on iTunes. And on Twitter, it's at Tony Atamanuik.
That's it for us. We'll see everybody again in 1974.
Ladies and gentlemen, the evening is over. We hope you all enjoyed yourselves, and we'll see you all again in 1974. Good evening!